Leave me alone.
I don't see the Scottie Barnes thing when you're the best guy in the team and the team doesn't win at some point. Some of that's got to be on you. I haven't really seen him be an impact guy on a winning team.
If Scottie is the centerpiece of a trade for Giannis, I think the Raptors should seriously consider that.
He needs to change his attitude, work ethic, and his coachability.
You know, it's not a ton of young guys. It's one young guy. How much of this is just the Raptors vets didn't get along with Scottie Barnes?
What are you gonna do?
What I do best.
Welcome to PENSARE Basketball. That was good, man. The Toronto Raptors come into this game. It is a must win. Your season is on the line, and there is an adjustment that needs to be made in that starting lineup. And it comes, and I don't know if it's the right adjustment, but it gets some spacing into that starting lineup, and the Raptors do come up with perhaps a better foot forward. Obviously, early on, Jacoby picks up 2 fouls. Okay, picks up two fouls very early. Scottie Barnes picks up 2 fouls, and you're like, uh-oh, here we go again. And then RJ Barrett decides, Toronto, we're not going down like this. Scottie hits a couple threes to start this game out. RJ hits 3 threes. And it's like, okay, if we're going to do this, it's going to be a long night. And I was praying if that adjustment that I really, really wanted to happen was going to happen. And that adjustment was one of Grady Dick or Jameson Battle to come in and provide some proper spacing to make the Cavaliers defense think about, what are we doing with Scottie Barnes? What are we doing with RJ Barrett drives? What are we doing collapsing the paint and leaving those corner shooters open? And I was so happy when I saw Jameson Battle check into this game. I was like, okay, we have made the adjustment and we have made the correct adjustment, and man, did it pay off. Oh my goodness. Jameson Battle could not have scripted a better feel-good movie. This was a Disney Hallmark type of moment for Jameson Battle, from undrafted to two-way contracts to contract uncertainty to out of the rotation. But this is a man who does not miss against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Raptors do not just beat the Cavaliers. They did not beat them by 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. They routed them. They absolutely destroyed them, and they destroyed them when the game was on the line and the season was on the line. The Toronto Raptors have to go home tonight feeling we can finally compete in this series. Because if you are doing some math, game 1 was bad. Game 2 was better. Game 3 was a dream come true. What will happen in game 4? What will happen in game 5? We are at least guaranteed to have a game 5 now. That is guaranteed to happen. So now we are at a point right now where the Toronto Raptors stars must be stars. And I'm looking at you, Brandon Ingram. I'm looking at you, RJ Barrett. I'm looking at you, Scottie Barnes. Y'all got to keep the pressure on. Jakob Poeltl does get another start again. I think this was his best game in the series so far. Man, we got to talk about this game. There's a lot to talk about. Film session is going to be deep. There's going to be a lot to talk about. We're going to have call-ins. Hopefully, we will have some lively discussions about this. But, man, we got to talk about this because the Raptors in that third quarter, fourth quarter just blew this game wide open. And a lot of it does come down to Scottie Barnes and RJ Barrett. Man, that was awesome. Let's take a look at this game. So, first of all, from a team stats perspective, the Raptors shot insane from 3. 61% from 3. That is not a typo. The Raptors shot 61% from 3. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And they held the Cavaliers to 31% from 3. That is a recipe to win by 22 points. Honestly, if you hit some free throws, you might have won by 30. You might have won by 30. The Raptors get back to being themselves a little bit. They push and transition a lot more. A lot more. Not enough, but a lot more. Right? The Raptors led by as many as 25 points. They led for 80% of this game. They finally cut down their turnovers. And yes, a lot of those turnovers came early. The Raptors had 3 turnovers in what felt like the first 3 minutes of this game. And a lot of it was, once again, trying to force things that were not there. The Raptors do not get out of their own way, trying to force Jakob to get him going early, trying to pre-script Brandon Ingram reads. Ingram was not good tonight. Ingram was horrible tonight. I don't know how you can justify it any other way. This is not helpful. I promise you it's not that he has no heart and no soul. It's not that. It's not that Brandon Ingram doesn't want to be out there and helping his teammates. I'm sure it kills him. But you know what? This has got to feel good for him because the pressure that's on him to deliver buckets right now for this team and him not being able to do so, and Scottie and RJ just saying, bro, we got you back. You've had our back for the whole season. We got your back tonight. We're not going to let the media rip you apart in this game. Man, this was great. This was great. Take a look at the box score here. You held every single Cavalier below 20. Every single Cavalier below 20. Okay? James Harden had 18 points. Donovan Mitchell, shout outs to Scottie Barnes, bro. Scottie Barnes just ended Donovan Mitchell and his 30-point barrage on the Toronto Raptors. Donovan Mitchell did not look comfortable tonight, and Scottie did not let him get comfortable tonight. And it's not just Scottie, it's CMB as well. The Raptors defense was definitely more on point today, a lot more communicative. And of course, it helps that the Cavaliers just missed. One of the big questions coming in was, would the young guys, would the bench react for the Cavaliers? I think the bench did their job. I think Jalen Tyson was very good coming off the bench. He had 13 points. Max Strus had 15 points, a bounce back game from him game before. But the Raptors bench definitely won. They won this. They could not go to Keon Ellis minutes. I don't think they got anything productive out of it. For once again in the season, in this series, Keon Ellis has not been able to score at all or stop very much. And yeah, he's getting very handsy and very physical with Brandon Ingram. They're all getting physical with Brandon Ingram, and he has to respond to that. But you know what? I think today was a move in the right direction for Ingram. Not too much forcing it. Apart from a few plays by Jamal Shed to continuously try and force him the ball, I think the Raptors moved away from it quickly and just decided, you know what? If you're going to do this with Ingram, you're opening swaths and swaths of space elsewhere, and we're going to attack that. Scottie Barnes attacked downhill. RJ Barrett got unconscionably hot from 3, and this is a recipe for success. And obviously the spacing that CMB inside and Jameson Battle on the perimeter, oh my God, that opened up the court so much for those isolation buckets that Scottie and RJ scored in the paint. So Brandon Ingram tonight didn't force it, took 9 shots, perfectly fine with it, 12 points. I have some concerns about his defense and his rotations and his commitment to that end, but he's competing. RJ Barrett, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, just 2 turnovers, 2 steals, 1 block, plus 24. Very, very good, and scored a bulk of those points in the fourth quarter as he started going. And it was just like, it was a nice victory lap, right? The Raptors were up 10, and then RJ got going, and then they're suddenly up 15. They're up 20, and he hits another 3, and boom, it's like game over, right? Good job, RJ Barrett, for finishing off strong and not leaving the door open for any 8-point comeback for the Cavaliers, and suddenly you're in overtime. I think RJ Barrett put the finishing touches on this game, and it was great to see. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the criticism of Scottie Barnes coming into this game was he doesn't score his buckets when the game is on the line. He's only scoring. I mean, this is unfortunately a take that originated on Raptors Republic because they had that Cavaliers guy on, and he's like, here's a fun fact. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude about the guy, but it was a really stupid cherry pick stat. He said, here's a fun fact. Guess how many points Scottie Barnes has scored when the game was within 6 points, and it was like 6. Well, guess what? Scottie Barnes barely scored in the fourth quarter. He scored all of his points when this game was absolutely consequential. He kept the Raptors in it. He scored downhill. He attacked the bigs. He attacked every matchup. He got a ton of what I would call star buckets, and it seems like he just cramped up late. He just didn't have the legs to finish this game out, and I'm really glad that that Jameson Battle and RJ Barrett did what they did to finish this off. But man, you got to wonder the toll that it takes to guard Donovan Mitchell on one end and put up 29 points in 3 quarters while battling foul trouble and not getting a favorable whistle on the other end is insane. What Scottie was able to do in this game is truly next level shit, man. It's unbelievable. Jakob Poeltl, once again, as I mentioned, gets the start. Wasn't overtly productive, but also wasn't bleeding you minutes out there. 8 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Off the bench, I think you got 2 of the most commendable bench production performances in Raptors history, and when it counted the most. Colin Murray-Boyles. All the praise will be for Scottie Barnes and RJ Barrett today because they combined for 66 points, and justifiably so. I'm not taking anything away from Scottie and RJ. You will not win this game if we play this again without Colin Murray-Boyles. What Colin Murray-Boyles was able to do defensively in the paint, what he was able to do as a roller, what he was able to do finishing through contact, what he was able to do pinning Jarrett Allen at the rim, presenting himself as a short roll target, making good passes when the Cavs defense collapsed. He was absolutely instrumental. And if you're a Raptor fan who's like, what's the future in Toronto? Well, there's your future. Scottie Barnes, Colin Murray-Boyles, that's your future. Okay? This guy is freaking incredible. And the adjustment, I called for it yesterday. I made a live and I said the Raptors spacing solution is sitting on the bench. And it was a picture of Jameson Battle and Grady Dick. And I was adamant that one of these guys could finally punish the Cavaliers for their collapsed defense. And it finally happened. Jameson Battle comes in and he goes 5 for 5 and fuego, 4 for 4 from 3, including, I think all 4 threes came in the second in the fourth quarter. And it was one after another after another. It was an avalanche, including the best one, in my opinion, which was a very deep, it was like close to 30-foot triple that he just took. It was a total heat check off of an RJ Barrett free throw miss. And CMB just taps it out to him, and boom goes the dynamite. The Cavaliers defense was definitely slow today. But man, like, what an incredible performance and a feel good win for the Toronto Raptors. I do want to get to some film stuff. I do. And then we'll take some call-ins. We already have Daryl waiting in queue. So let's get to the film, and we'll start right at the first quarter and we'll go all the way. Also, if you're watching, by the way, to people who are going to show up on the panel tomorrow, I will be talking my shit on the panel. I will be on the panel tomorrow. They're going to have to ban me from that show after the amount of shit I'm going to talk, for Scottie Barnes and all the people who've said that this guy can't do this and this guy can't do that. Well, he looked like he could do just about anything he wanted tonight. Okay. We did not start out well. Okay. Let's just go there first. RJ Barrett forcing this entry pass here to, it's a pretty reasonable pass, but Jakob Poeltl doesn't have the seal, projects this pass the whole way through. Look, here's the thing. Jarrett Allen sees where you're going with this because you're looking at him. What a better passer would do in this moment is actually fake off to Jacoby to get, maybe Jakob a little bit of extra space. Jarrett Allen's a great defender. He's an all-league defender. He is going to pick this pass away. And boom, there goes familiar habits. And it's just like the Raptors just weren't executing. Here, you're going to look at this, and I want you to watch Brandon Ingram the whole time. Okay, Brandon Ingram's right in the middle. This was by no means. Ingram has to rotate over to Max Strus here. You're guarding nobody. If you're not going to rotate, then you rotate out to the corner and have Donovan and you have Jacoby switch out to him. You cannot leave a shooter this wide open when the pass has been projected for 3 seconds. This is ridiculous. And leaving their best non-guard shooter open like this. This is not like you're leaving Jarrett Allen open. Like, you're leading an actual 3-point shooter open. And I'm just like, ugh. Early on, they tried to go through Brandon Ingram, trying to attack James Harden. I think they did a much better job of attacking their guards and attacking their weaker defenders and not just being so timid. The Raptors have had a massive overestimation problem where they have treated the Cavaliers like they are the 96 Bulls. They've treated them with a little bit too much. The word is reverence. And right now, I think you need to get angry and treat them with a little bit of disrespect. Here, Brandon Ingram is going to get away with a little bit of shove off here. Just very loose with the basketball here. Throws this at, Jakob Poeltl. Again, know who you're passing to. Jakob Poeltl has had issues catching the ball for a while now. And here, Ingram is able to hustle play, make this pass to Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl finds Scottie Barnes, and Scottie Barnes catches Evan Mobley sagging off a little bit too much. And Scottie was very hot from 3. And that was a huge point in getting the Raptors off to the right start. And here, you do love it, right? The rotation finally comes. Now here, this is where I say you just got to do a job that's well enough. You're not asking RJ Barrett to stop Evan Mobley. You're asking him to delay Evan Mobley so that Scottie can get back into the play. Now, Scottie is hedging that the pass out can still come. And that's a pretty dangerous shooter in James Harden who's waiting to receive that pass. However, the second Mobley goes into his move, and this is where Mobley's limitations come in as a playmaker, Scottie is able to notice that he is going 100% to commit to this shot, regardless of all the help that's coming towards him. See, Scottie would never attempt a shot. Scottie would make this pass to the top, but Mobley, he doesn't have that presence, and boom, Scottie is just going to swat that away. Beautiful. Once again, Scottie Barnes, playoff riser. Look, man, coming into this series, I said there were two guys that you could bank on to come into this series and be playoff risers. That was RJ Barrett and Scottie Barnes. You can add Colin Murray-Boyles to that list from now till forever. Okay. Colin Murray-Boyles has not been phased by this moment. Colin Murray-Boyles is treating this like freaking summer league. Okay. He's just, this is one of the most ridiculous rookie performances I've ever seen in my life, in my lifetime. Okay. This is a guy who has come out and has basically looked at the Cavaliers' entire front court and said, you can't stop me. And he's right. They can't. He's stronger than them both. And he's 20 years old. Physicality is winning. Okay. And CMB knows it. Here, once again, another pass from Brandon Ingram falling out of bounds. Makes this pass out to Jamal Shed. Shed has come in for the since vacated Jacoby Walter, who picked up 2 early fouls. And here, Jamal Shed taking James Harden off the rope. Once again, attacking James Harden. This is the adjustment. We have to attack him. And here, once again, Evan Mobley caught sagging a little bit. This is not an open three by any means for Scottie Barnes. To anyone saying like, oh, he's just making threes they're just diving back. They're not. They're contesting these shots. And Scottie is still making these shots. With 5 seconds left on the clock from the corner with the former defensive player of the year coming at you. This is not an easy shot by any means off the move. Okay, Brandon Ingram, once again, another kind of whoopsie daisy. Oh my God. Get it. Oh my God. Thank God. Like Brandon Ingram did this 4 times in the first 5 minutes of this game. And it was really crazy how many of those like lucky bounces come into the Raptors situation. And again, if you didn't watch the video, go back and watch the video. The solution is right there. I said the Raptors spacing solution is sitting on the bench 1 day ago, literally yesterday at 5 o'clock. I said, if everyone is saying, what is the adjustment for Toronto? I'm saying the adjustment is obvious. They're sagging off your shooters. You must make them pay. You have shooters on your bench. Pick one and go with it and try them out one by one. And I'm lucky that the first one hit, because if Jameson Battle struggles, you might have to concede that it's not going to work and go to AJ Lawson or something like that. I'm really happy that they pulled this guy, and it was just such a trump card to pull. Like, I mean, seriously. Okay. Now I say Colin Murray-Boyles finishing is one of the single greatest single season development stories in Raptors history. Okay. And by the way, if you are a Cavs fan who has been in my comments, in my DMs saying like, we're going to smoke y'all never going to win another game in this series, piss off. Okay. Like seriously, piss the hell off, because y'all just got smoked. Y'all got smoked. This is the largest margin of victory in this series so far. And it is a 126-104 win for the Raptors. And look at this complete dismantling. This is a rookie going up against your, by the way, supermax big man defender, and just went through him. Like, I'm sorry, was that Evan Mobley or was that Nikola Jokic? I'm curious. Let me know. Was that Nikola Jokic in the paint? Shut up, man. All right. Let's go further. Okay, Brandon Ingram, your defensive issues are being called out in this live. Even though the Raptors won, we have to be fair to everyone involved. Brandon Ingram cannot get lost like this on defense. Here, Evan Mobley dribbles. Now, I do like how far off they're playing. This is perfectly fine. Mobley is not a pull-up threat by any means, but obviously we're coming into this corner where now he has basically dribbled into a double team. If you're Ingram, that's Colin Murray-Boyles. That's the matchup you want. Ingram must close out to Donovan Mitchell above the break. The fact that he doesn't, Scottie is yelling at him to do so. At which point, Scottie's man now is open. The rotation cannot come because Colin Murray-Boyles cannot be in 2 places at once. Because Ingram does not make the rotation, Scottie has to make the rotation for him. And therein lies the problem with Brandon Ingram. Just completely abandoning his matchup in that situation. He just has very poor off-ball awareness. And frankly, getting yourself stuck in that trap and not knowing, hey, we got two guys on Evan Mobley. Someone is open, and chances are that someone is a shooter. Scottie having to overextend himself to pick between two players, then Colin Murray-Boyles. It's just a cascading breakdown. Now, this is a very interesting play, and I'm very, very happy that this one was caught here. Watch Jameson Battle here. Okay. Jameson Battle is going to come off, and he is going to go through the paint. What this is doing is rearranging the floor to get a defender out of the way. Now, if this is anybody else, Donovan Mitchell is not trailing him this closely, but he is staying attached to Jameson Battle because he knows that a pass to the opposite corner is going to sink the Cavaliers. Now, Scottie is going to come off this little, like, excuse me screen from CMB, and you are going to get the perfect matchup, which is Scottie Barnes on Max Strus. Now, what do you do here? RJ Barrett clear out. Very good. Very good. Gets into the paint, create a little bit of space. Colin Murray-Boyles clears out as well. Now, where is the double supposed to come from? If you're the Cavaliers, previously, that was not Jacoby Walter standing up top. That was Jamal Shed. At which point, Sam Merrill is happy to come down and double, at which point they'll live with Evan Mobley making the rotation to the top. Here, because you have your two shooters on the opposite side and you have the weak side cleared out for Scottie Barnes to go one-on-one against Max Strus, they're just going to live with these results. And I will tell you right now, the results are not good. Now, as Scottie goes into his motion, you can see now Sam Merrill is going to come in. It's too late, and Scottie Barnes gets his 2 points. This is how you clear out space for a predator wing, okay? This is how every team in NBA history has done it with some variation. So, yes. Okay. Now, RJ Barrett had a very good game. I don't want to harp on the negatives too much, but this is a negative. Here, he crawls the pace down. He drags the possession up, walks it down the court. I understand Keon Ellis is trying to delay RJ Barrett bringing up the court, but it wasn't Keon Ellis. It's just RJ decided to sort of, call his own number here. And this is creating a little bit of an advantage. Jamal Shed gets Keon Ellis off of him. Keon Ellis concedes the switch. Now we have James Harden guarding RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett doing a whole lot of nothing to get very little space. And here, I would prefer RJ just go up for the floater instead of going all the way through and trying to finish through Evan Mobley. You're just driving into help. Their two best defenders are right there. And this is where a better player just takes a pull-up jump shot. And this is what the Raptors don't have in RJ Barrett, which is a pull-up jump shooting threat. And I think that this is where I think at least Scottie Barnes has the potential to one day get there, in that he has the ability to pull up right here. And this is where you have to pull up. You cannot continue to drive forward. And RJ Barrett is just so used to high school being able to go through guys at the rim. You can't do that at the pro level. And if we could get RJ Barrett pull-up jump shot, I know his mechanics don't lend themselves to it. It would be, I'd feel a lot more comfortable about a $35 million extension. But yeah, Alex Wave saying, eat your words, Pen. You think I'm eating my words? You eat your words. What was your take? Next level dumbassery. That's what your take was. Okay, so here comes Jacoby Walter. Sets a little bit of a screen here to get James Harden off. Now Scottie is isolated one-on-one against Max Strus, and once again you find that pocket of space to attack. And look at Colin Murray-Boyles putting him through. Colin Murray-Boyles is treating Jared Allen like he is not a great defender. Now here, this is beautiful. Watch this play here. This is going to be created by RJ Barrett as well. So RJ Barrett takes Jalen Tyson off the dribble. Beautiful here. And look at Colin Murray-Boyles taking the help out and giving RJ a clear path to the bucket. Beautiful shit. That is incredible. Like, great shit. And this is something that CMB is just, the learning curve of a Colin Murray-Boyles is truly the most astounding beginning to end curve. How can I say this? Colin Murray-Boyles has grown more from point A to point B of a rookie season than any Toronto Raptors since maybe Vince Carter. And even then, I think it's probably in Colin Murray-Boyles' perspective, or in Colin Murray-Boyles' edge, because Carter came out of the gate and was incredible. So maybe from collegiate level to end of the rookie season, this is the greatest single calendar year development curve I've ever seen from a Toronto Raptors rookie. Chris Bosh got better, but he didn't get this much better. Andrea Bargnani got better, but he didn't get this much better. Charlie Villanueva had a 48-point game. He didn't get this much better. For a player to go from, I'm really concerned he's never going to be able to finish at the rim, to here's the best rim defense, or one of the best rim defenses I've ever seen, period. Those two are behemoths down there, and him just taking them to lunch. Like, if you can do this to them, there's no rim defense other than maybe Victor Wembanyama that you can't do this to. And it's truly, truly impressive. Once again, Scottie Barnes, playoff riser. I mean, truly. Look at this. Complains about being held. RJ Barrett, once again, attacking Max Strus. This roll threat makes Jarrett Allen a little bit cautious about overcommitting to RJ. And that threat of a roller, the gravity of CMB rolling downhill, and the fact that he has been so efficient, right? That opens up a great pass to Scottie Barnes. James Harden decides, I'm not going to guard Scottie Barnes. And Scottie Barnes gets his most open three. Now here I say this is non-Ingram basketball, which is beautiful. Scottie Barnes running in transition. There is a clash of identities between this team. Within this team, it's a Scottie ball and it is Ingram ball. I think RJ prospers in both situations, playing off of both stars. However, it is with Ingram that possessions get dragged out. They become long. Too much time is bled off the clock to try and get Brandon Ingram the basketball, whereas Scottie Barnes is just going to push it down, and he's going to find the first available pass, and he's going to play very egalitarian. And I think that's where I think RJ Barrett thrives as well. And if Brandon Ingram would ever stop getting into his own way, he would thrive playing Scottie ball as well. Here, Scottie is going to attack this first matchup. Look at how Max Strus is having to shift. You have now 3 defenders completely committed, 2.5 defenders completely committed. What is open in the corner? Jameson Battle. What is open up top? Sandro Mamukelashvili. If Scottie spins through this, what is then available also? It is Jacoby Walter. And so taking all of this attention, now we are able to find Jameson Battle. The defense shifts away from him because you have the big trailing the play. This gets Max Strus completely out of position. And here you once again have a 2-on-2 at the basket. And because Keon Ellis gets behind the play, Mamu can pass, and boom, there goes that man, that badass rookie, Colin Murray-Boyles. That is Raptors basketball in a fucking nutshell. Okay? Once again, my caption remains the same. Scottie Barnes, playoff riser. What did I say about pull-up jump shooting? It is a cheat code in the playoffs. And I'm telling you very honestly, if Scottie Barnes can get this down, you have a superstar 100%, because there aren't a lot of players who are going to be, there aren't a lot of players who can guard Donovan Mitchell on one end, be a top 5 defender in the league, and then put up 29 points in 3 quarters in like 24 minutes and be doing this kind of shit, because this is not, oh, other people are creating this. Yes, Evan Mobley is going to get clipped on this screen, but guess what's on the other end of that? It's Jarrett Allen. This is not an easy matchup. But if you're Scottie Barnes, Jarrett Allen attacking in space, we prefer that to Evan Mobley. And because Colin Murray-Boyles takes Evan Mobley with him, continues to roll through, you're going to see that right here, Scottie has 2 options. He can throw this over, maybe risking a turnover to Colin Murray-Boyles. And if Colin Murray-Boyles was a little bit more vertically pop type of player, he could throw this right over, or you can stop short and take this pull-up jump shot. Looking at how Jarrett Allen is playing this with his hands down, Scottie does the right thing, and he pulls up super aggressive Scottie Barnes. Great play from Scottie. I said the future is bright in Toronto. This is a beautiful defense to offense situation here. The Cavaliers are going to get stuck on the baseline. Good job of RJ Barrett kind of cutting off that angle there. And here we're going to have a pass to the corner. It's a little bit off for Donovan Mitchell. What did I say? Coming into the series, make Donovan Mitchell a passer, playmaker. It's his weakest attribute. It's not quite as weak as Kevin Durant, but it's weak enough that you can win games because he gets these sloppy ass passes. And here Max Strus tap dancing on the sideline, tries to throw it off of RJ Barrett, ends up in the hands of Scottie Barnes, and you know what's coming. Scottie Barnes and CMB 2-on-1 fast break against James Harden. And here you go. Mama, there goes that man, that badass rookie, Colin Murray-Boyles. Shout outs to CMB, man. That was incredible. Okay. Scottie Barnes at the half had 18 points on just 8 shots, had 3 for 4 from 3, 6 assists, 17 minutes. I said, that's my franchise player showing up when it matters. Okay. This is some star shit from Scottie Barnes. Now, attack a slanted defense, yes, but that is still Evan Mobley that you're getting off balance, and that is still Jarrett Allen who is helping him out. And here, Scottie Barnes is going to take Jarrett Allen and here just manipulate him off the dribble and beat him to the rim. Tell me if you were going crazy when he did that shit, because that was awesome. Good job, Scottie. And when I say you got a superstar, baby, that is a fucking defensive player of the year candidate right there, and an amazing defender in Evan Mobley. You never hear me slander Evan Mobley as a defender. He is absolutely, if the Toronto Raptors had Evan Mobley, he would be your second best player by far, and he would be a franchise cornerstone. Like, you would be giving him a max deal. You would have the second best defense in the NBA if you had these two together. So please don't dismiss what Scottie is doing. He's doing this to an incredible defender. And what's impressive is that incredible defender is designed to stop players like Scottie Barnes. And he can't. He can't stop him. Just puts one shoulder into him and just finishes right over him. Jarrett Allen, Scottie Barnes. Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley cannot stop Scottie Barnes in the paint. And when Scottie decides he's going to score, bro, there's nothing you can do. Here, Dean Wade. Okay, how many times did we see Kawhi Leonard do something like this? Now, Dean Wade is the man who has been, I feel, underrated by most Raptor fans in this series. When we drew this matchup, they're like, they don't have anyone who can stop Brandon Ingram. I was like, Dean Wade. Dean Wade is awesome. And the Cavaliers defense with those three, that front court, Dean Wade, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen on the court has been like plus 66. Their defense has been historic, like OKC levels defense with those three on the court. So please understand, it is no small thing that Scottie is drawing one of these three guys on every fucking matchup. And here, he just backs him out, reorganizes the court. And yes, you've got a rim protector in there in Evan Mobley who gets to stay home because Jakob Poeltl is sitting there. Imagine how much better this would look with a fucking stretch big. But here, Scottie's like, you know what, Jakob Poeltl, don't worry, big bro, I got you. And here, he just puts a body into Dean Wade, and that is a 6'9" dude with a lot of length. Dean Wade goes up, Scottie Barnes goes higher, and boom, there's a foul, and Scottie Barnes gets to the line. We are talking about a superstar here. You are absolutely talking about a superstar. And here, you are talking about one of the best rookies. Now, look, when I did that video, said, who is the best rookie defender in Raptors history? Who was number one? Write it in the chat. Who was number one? If you remember, and please remember how many great rookie defenders there have been in Raptors history. OG Anunoby, Marcus Camby. Who was number one on that fucking list as a rookie defender? Not Jamario Moon. You are paying attention. You were paying attention. You were paying attention. That is correct. And people said, nah, you gassing it. CMB ain't better than OG. I'm sorry. No disrespect to OG Anunoby, one of my favorite players. But you're not telling me that OG Anunoby could ever do this. Jarrett Allen is already up. CMB is on the ground. And CMB got up faster and pinned his ass to the fucking backboard. Pinned him. Game over. That is so demoralizing. The emotional impact of having a rookie block your shot in such an embarrassing fashion cannot be understated. Here's Scottie Barnes. We are going down the wire. It is 81-81 in the third quarter. We are exiting the third quarter. You need momentum. 3.2 seconds. Does anyone know what's about to happen? Write it in the chat. What's about to happen here? Let me slow this down. I actually want to savor this moment because this, to me, had me going crazy. Let's go right back to the beginning. Here we go. So, Scottie, here comes that little screen. Get one guy out of the way. Oh, we got Max Strus. There's a second screen. Get him out of the way. Hey, Jarrett Allen, step your ass up. Jarrett Allen, step up. Jarrett Allen. Step up, my man. You got to step up because that's a franchise player, man. Boom. Boom goes the dynamite. Loved it. Okay. Said Jakob Poeltl making Darko Rakovic looks kind of smart. Here we go. All that work to get over Sam Merrill. Crazy. Insanity. Okay. Said it's battle time. Now here, RJ Barrett. Good job. CMB gets the ball to RJ Barrett. This is not a necessarily favorable matchup for the Raptors. Keon Ellison on RJ Barrett. And I was hoping that something would free up here, and watch Colin Murray-Boyles and how he is going to free up Jameson Battle on this play. Here. Boom. Free. RJ Barrett makes the pass. Jameson Battle makes the shot. And we are at 88-88. By the way, this was a 22-point blowout. We are at 88-88. And this game is about to get popped open. Okay? And the man who is about to pop this game open is none other than your man, Jameson Battle. Once again, this time Jamal Shed passes to Jameson Battle. We got 6 seconds off the clock. So obviously the Raptors are running. James Harden, familiar playoff demons coming up. Lazy recovery on a man who is clearly in fuego. And here the Raptors are up 6. RJ Barrett, good job attacking the rim, gets to the line, misses on the, and this was an and one. So this was and one, goes to the line. Raptors miss another free throw. Look at Scottie Barnes competing with Jared Allen. This is the small shit that wins you games. Scottie Barnes is able to take this away from Jared Allen, throws this off of Keon Ellis's head. All of this happens in a split second. And look at Colin Murray-Boyles with the presence of mind in less than a quarter second to make this pass and also to try and clear up some space for Jameson Battle. It's too late, Keon Ellis. It's too late. It's battle time. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And here, Scottie Barnes showing that, hey, I've been stuck on 31 points for a while, clearly cramping up, finished, found, he had a couple of like really, really close ones at the rim that just go in and out. So clearly his lift was really bothering him in the fourth quarter. And here, Scottie is going to take James Harden once again, attack the mismatch, James Harden. And this time, Scottie is able to finish. Once again, you think to yourself, if this could get even better, what would this look like? And here, RJ Barrett, 4-3 to put the final finishing touches on any potential Cavaliers comeback. Scottie Barnes swings it, kind of cramping up at that point, just really gingerly moving up the court, barely moving. And here, Jared Allen forced to split between two defenders. There's only 4 Cavs back, which makes me think that James Harden is lazily bringing his dumb ass up the court. Look at that. Not even getting back into the play, letting his team down. And here, Max Strus cannot close out to RJ Barrett. And that's all she wrote. Them's the finishing touches on this game. But we got more. We got more. Okay. And if you thought Jameson Battle was done, he is not. He is not. Now here we have, give me a W in the chat if you've been watching the Lakers Rockets series and what has been happening with LeBron James. In fact, give me a W if you've been watching the Raptors blitz James Harden and what has been happening to the Raptors. When you blitz great playmakers and you give great playmakers shooters and finishers, that is a recipe for elite offense. Here's Scottie Barnes. He has 33 points at this point. So James Harden, clearly, this is a mismatch. Here comes. Now, what did I say? Use your fucking screen. Use your shooters as screeners. That is what creates the dynamic offense. If Brandon Ingram could do just what Jameson Battle is doing right now, which is not complicated, you would have a much, much better chance in this series. But Brandon Ingram won't do this. But you know what? Jameson Battle, he's been a role player for most of his life, so he will do this. Here, he is going to take this nice little double team on Scottie Barnes. And Scottie Barnes, of course, gets this double team, 2 weak defenders. He's bigger than both of them. They try to blitz him, forcing a turnover because it's Hail Mary time for the Cavaliers, down 14. And here's Scottie Barnes perfectly, not 4 feet too high where Jameson Battle might have to, dance around with it a little bit, right into his shooting pocket, right over the defense. Evan Mobley cannot recover in time. And had Evan Mobley recovered in time, guess what? Look at who is in the opposite corner. If Mobley recovers on this, per chance, if he shuts this down, it is a wide open three for Brandon Ingram. And this is called organizing the court. By going to the other side and loading up the weak side with shooters. Scottie Barnes, how many times have I talked about Scottie Barnes crossing that little mid-court mark of the court? Like if you draw a symmetrical line down the middle of the court, Scottie loves to go left to right, left to right, left to right, and throw that skip pass. And here, you get this double team to come over and boom goes the dynamite. It's still a 14-point game. Obviously, a Cavaliers run back victory would be very improbable, but not impossible. When you have Donovan Mitchell, 14 points in 4 minutes is possible. But here, with Jameson Battle going crazy, this was the absolute finishing touch on this game, and that's all she wrote. I am so incredibly proud of the Toronto Raptors today. Words cannot describe how relieved I am. There's a part of me that's relieved that this series will continue and this will go further, but also how impressed I am with the poise that this young team showed at home, facing the jitters, facing the pressure of, frankly, I mean, you're talking about we don't do this. Our season's over. We're done. Our season is done. No team has ever come back from 0-3. And for them to go out and compete the way they did, to withstand early turnovers, to withstand early foul trouble from Scottie, and to withstand the Scottie cramping, to withstand some lineup shit. Like there was a point in the third quarter where Scottie Barnes goes out after Scottie started cooking in the beginning of the third quarter, came out very much attack mode, and at the 6-minute mark, Darko benches him for a 2-minute stint. That proved to be wise, in my opinion, because Scottie was gassed, like dead ass gassed. And that's maybe sometimes why he conserves some energy for the fourth quarter, because he knows his team's going to need him. But today, nothing was left in the tank at the end. And I think Scottie can go home and really just, hug his dogs, hug his partner, and just, I think RJ Barrett can go home, hug his mom, hug his dad that were in the crowd. Obviously, salutes to his brother. And just feel proud. Feel proud. Like your city showed up for you, man. Like my girlfriend was around Scotiabank at 4:30, and she messaged me and she said, people are already lined up. People are already lined up. And I said, you have any idea how long people have waited for playoffs in this city? And there's a nervous energy around the Raptors right now. We don't know what this team is. A lot of people don't have a lot of faith. They don't have a lot of faith that this team can compete. If you ask the average Raptor fan, they'd be like, yeah, I'm supporting my team, but I fully expect them to get smoked in this game. I don't think we can compete with this team. And for the Raptors to come out in the fourth quarter and win this game the way they did, I think salute to Darko Rajakovic for finally making the necessary adjustment. CMB once again plays more minutes than Jakob Poeltl. So even though you continuously, continue to have Jakob Poeltl as the guy who was introduced as the, as your starting center, you go to that CMB adjustment very quickly. And I think as the series goes on, if you do make it out of this round, I know it's presumptuous to think that the Raptors will come back in this series because you are still down 2-1. I think this is going to be a real test on, your lineup structure, right? What happens when an Immanuel Quickley comes back? Are you going to start Immanuel Quickley and Jakob Poeltl? Or are you going to, make that Jakob Poeltl CMB adjustment a little bit early? Are you going to have, let's say, are you going to have Jameson Battle minutes, or are you going to have to pick between Jameson Battle and somebody? Are you going to continue to force feed Ingram in the next series, or even in this series? Are you going to go away from it a little bit and just say if they're going to continue to blitz him away from the ball, if they're going to be super physical with him? I can't even tell you how many of those 12 turnovers came because the Raptors were just forcing shots into Ingram and or CMB, or Jakob Poeltl. And it's like, I understand that these are your guys, but honestly, they just don't have it right now. So go to whoever does have it. And at the end, it's not about Brandon Ingram or Scottie Barnes or RJ Barrett or Jacoby Walter or Jamal Shad or any one of these players. It's about the Raptors. And if the Raptors are going to win, they're going to have to go to where the Cavaliers are not paying attention. They're going to have to find those mismatches. They're going to continue to hunt James Harden. I thought James Harden was truly awful today. Truly, terribly awful today. And, it could be that the Cavaliers are planning for a huge, pushback. But I think for a young team, you just need confidence. You need to know that your coach has your back. You need to understand that Nobody on this team right now would have thought that they could have won a game with Brandon Ingram playing the way that he's playing, and they just did. So I think there's a lot of players on this team who are going to go to bed tonight and be like, you know what, on Sunday, we don't need Brandon Ingram to score 30 for us to win in this series. We got that. So Tyler Weeb said, Rob, how do you feel about the Knicks right now? Jokic also has had a terrible series. I don't know what is going on with the Denver Nuggets right now, but I fully expected the Nuggets to come out and respond. And the fact that they are down 22 points to the Minnesota Timberwolves is shocking beyond belief to me. I also expected the Knicks to show up against the Atlanta Hawks, and they got punked badly and escaped with a 1-point loss, which made it look a lot better, but they were down by 10, 12, 13 points. There's a lot of things that I've said that are right. There's a lot of things I've said that were wrong. I have said that Minnesota is a championship contender. I do believe in them. I did think Denver would beat them. But if this continues to go the way it's going, if Anthony Edwards continues to play the way that he's playing, I think the Wolves might advance. And there's a lot of things going on in the playoffs right now. Obviously, the Knicks being down 2-1 against the Atlanta Hawks is surprising. But also, if you're the Toronto Raptors, you got to think about this and just say, nobody thought Indiana had a chance last year either. We've had our best scorer go completely ice cold, and here we are, right? Here we are in this game. Jameson got the chain. Yo, no complaints here. No complaints. No complaints at all. Jameson Battle coming in the fourth quarter was huge. Shout outs. Okay, let's get Daryl in. What's up, Daryl? How are you doing, sir?
I'm great.
You are great. Yes.
Yep. All right. I want to ask the chat. Honestly, be honest. How many of you guys in the first 60 seconds were rolling your eyes thinking, well, here we go again. The Raptors are going to blow this one? Because there was some ugly basketball. There was a turnover. I think BI fell down. Dean Wade had a wide open three that he hit. And I was just thinking, like, this is it. This is it. There's nothing we can do. And so I texted a friend and I said that, well, here we go. After 60 seconds, I can already see that the Cavs are going to walk the Raptors in this game. It's over. Mud on my face. And I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier the way they turned it around, man. But then, like, yeah, later on in the first, I was like, well, if the Cavaliers keep turning it over like this, who knows?
I got to tell you, I wasn't sure how this game was going to go until I saw Jameson Battle. I know it sounds crazy to say that a guy on a minimum contract swings my opinion of this team's chances that much. But what he does to the court as it pertains to the other players on the court is he opens up the paint. One of the common misunderstandings about spacing is what it is designed to achieve. People think spacing is about getting more threes up. That's part of it. But the most important thing is spacing is supposed to be to open up the paint. And if you look at how Jaylen Brown is able to attack downhill, so much of what he is able to do in the Celtics offense is created by their motion and their space. The fact that they have Sam Hauser on one side and Peyton Pritchard on the other side and Derek White coming up top, with him and Nimi Keita going downhill 3-on-2 every single time, that creates so much pressure. And I just think if you look at this series from a perspective of like adjustments, I think Darko just threw the best adjustment of the series by putting Jameson Battle into this for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he deserves so much credit for actually making adjustments. And when I was thinking about it, what adjustments can Cleveland actually make? They already play their best basketball, and really their only chance of playing good basketball is through Harden and Mitchell doing what they were doing for the first two games. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in Kenny Atkinson's shoes right now going in game 4 because Toronto figured that out. They made their adjustments, and they're going to make it hard. Like, I got to say, RJ Barrett on James Harden was not a disaster today. There were a couple of possessions where he absolutely affected Harden in the paint. Harden was missing things that he wouldn't have missed otherwise. And Scottie, in the third quarter, I think it was, he was almost hugging Harden, like full court, denying Harden the ball even on the inbound. Harden couldn't even touch the ball for whole possessions. And that made such a huge difference. The Raptors went on a big run. during that time when Harden was completely denied the ball.
Mhm.
It was that. Just keep doing that. I don't know what adjustments they can make.
Yeah, I mean, they are the better team. They're clearly the better team. But I think because of our cramped spacing, we haven't really been able to see what Scottie can do against their weaker mismatches. And today you see how many mismatches they actually play at once. And organizing the court in order to orient yourself towards being able to attack those mismatches, whether that is for RJ Barrett going downhill against Max Strus, or Jacoby, who didn't make shots tonight. Let's just be real. Like, it's not like everything fell perfectly into the Raptors' lap tonight. You got like really great performances from 4 players, but let's just be real about it. Jacoby went 0 for 6. That's not going to happen again. There were makeable shots. They were good shots. They were open corner shots. They were shots at the rim. He missed everything, right? I definitely think Brandon Ingram can have a better game than this. Clearly, it's nice to see him move in the right direction and not have negatives next to his name, but he can be better. You got 0 points from Sandro Mamukelashvili today. 0. That is your leading bench scorer. You got 0 points from him, right? You got 2 points in 30 minutes from Jamal Shed.
Mm-hmm.
That means Jamal Shed and Sandro Mamukelashvili played a grand total of 41 minutes combined and netted you 2 points. So Jamal Shed can go 5 for 3. 3 for 5 from 3 next game and give you 9 points in that way. I think he can be a lot more offensively assertive. This was always going to be a tough Jamal Shed series, but it's nice to see that he plays 30 minutes regardless of the fact that he didn't start. Jamal was 3rd on the team in minutes. That's how much Darko loves that dude. And while I understand the criticisms of not having him on the court, or having him on the court because, it compromises your spacing, having him on the court with a role threat like CMB, who's assertive, and a shooter like Jameson Battle can somewhat mitigate the downside of having him on the court, period, because he is a dog defensively and he's going to get into the handle. I just think the Raptors defense was so underrated today. How are you feeling after this game going into Sunday?
Good. I think home court really, really does help. I mean, it's a difference maker in the playoffs. I think that the crowd was taking the Cavs communication out. Like they were so loud. The Cavs couldn't hear each other. I think that made a big difference.
Absolutely. Shout outs to the home crowd.
And honestly, yeah, I mean, the home crowd is great. And also, I mean, anyone who's played a sport knows that, like, when there's a big cheer after your team makes a good play, that's like getting a little shot of nitrous every single time. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about game 4. I think that Jakob's going to have a better game. He's trending in the right direction. I just want to see him grab more offensive rebounds. He's just not in the right position. He's getting out rebounded by guys 6 inches shorter than him, and that can't happen.
His mobility has been really challenged in this series because there's not a single player who is less mobile than him. Like, he is the least mobile player at all times on the court for both sides. And he is just having a difficulty changing ends, loading up, to the point of offensive rebounds. The Cavaliers had 16 offensive rebounds today. The Raptors' contested rebound rate was once again atrocious. I think that's partially because you're extending so much of Scottie Barnes on the perimeter, trying to not only ball deny on Donovan Mitchell, but also to just chase guys around screens, to close down gaps, close out to shooters. And very often the shot is falling away from Scottie and it is going into, Sam Merrill's hands, or it's going to like one of their shooters' hands. And 16 offensive rebounds is unforgivable. Also shooting 57% from the line. If you clean up those two things, you probably win this game by 40. My premise coming into this game, into this series, when I said the Raptors are no joke, the live that a lot of people were really, really hammering home as like, oh, I guess they are a joke after game 2, was that the Raptors can score on this team. I truly believe that the Raptors can score on this team. My premise was always based on the idea that Immanuel Quickley would play, because the spacing required for Ingram and Barnes to go downhill. Now, Quickley misses a 3rd straight game in this series, and you counter adjust with Jacoby in the starting lineup, which I think is a step in the right direction, even though I think Jamal has been the better player in the series. And I also think that Battle off the bench once again creates some of the shooting gravity that Quickley has, especially because I think he's a more willing screener. So I think the Raptors are a lot closer than people realize. This is a super young team. That is a veteran-laden team. That is a team that has already parsed out all their picks, everything to go all in. They just traded a 26-year-old all-star, borderline all-NBA point guard in Darius Garland to go all in on this James Harden experiment. And tonight, I think James Harden burned them. Honestly, as much as I acknowledge that James is a matchup nightmare for the Raptors, and I do believe he is a better player than Darius Garland, I have to admit, I would feel a lot less bullish about this series if Darius Garland was on the other end, largely because I think Darius Garland does so much more without the basketball. And there would be nowhere to hide RJ Barrett. But here, if you put RJ Barrett on James Harden, very often you're just getting burned on the ball. You're not getting completely cremated off the ball. And without a guy like Garland in this series to stretch out the defense and relocate and do all the fancy shit that he does, I think I feel pretty okay with the idea that the Raptors can push this to 6 or 7. At which point, it'll just come down to a battle of wills. And I really, really, really trust Scottie Barnes a lot more in a Game 6, Game 7 setting than I do James Harden. So, man, this would feel so good. The victory laps I would run so many victory laps. I would give myself cramps running the number of victory laps that I would run. But I think Scottie really emerged as a superstar today. I think that was a superstar performance.
I'm going to say it again. Every time I call into your show, I'm going to say it. Scottie's handle is not a problem. I don't care about anchoring bias. It is so functional. It is not a problem. Just watch this game. Anybody who thinks that he can't create his own shot and he doesn't have a handle, put this game on repeat and watch it all weekend and rewire your brain, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on a string.
Do you remember that one play where he split the entire Cavs defense and just didn't finish the play at the end? I didn't clip that, but I should have. That was such a nifty, weird move. But if you right? I mean, look, let's put it this way. Scottie Barnes, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, based on this series, Scottie has had the best handle of those three.
I agree 100%.
Which is crazy. If you think about where we were 4 years ago, if I'd ever told you that Scottie's handle would be on that level, you would think I was absolutely banana sandwich insane. But that's where we are. Can it get better? 100%. I think if Brian called in right now, he would tell you 100% it can get better. But to the people who have said for years, he still can't handle the ball. He still can't score 20. He still can't do this. He still can't do that. Well, bro, he did everything, every single thing you said he cannot do. He did it in the biggest game of the season against the former Defensive Player of the Year. What are they going to say now? What are they going to say now? Okay, I'm going to bring in Recruiter Dude and Coach Mo as well to join this conversation. Awesome. Coach, what up? Recruiter Dude, what is up, man?
Hey, boss.
How are you doing?
Good, you?
I am great. I am victory lapping. I'm exhausted from the victory laps.
Just want to say real quick.
You cut out. Just want to say real quick. We will come back to you.
You got to get it. You got to get a Chinese microphone from Alibaba, man.
I don't think it's his microphone. I think it's his internet. Coach Mo, what is up, man?
Yeah, with regards to the handle thing, I'm seeing like Ingram dribble off his foot, and I'm like, and they tell me Scottie's the one with the bad handle, But it was interesting and amusing watching Scottie torch guys Ingram's wrestling with.
What's that
Dean Wade? He's just in Dean Wade's chest. And Dean Wade is like, you can see it in his face when they slow-mo it. You can tell when players are really strong, like when LeBron is posting you up. you can see the players getting ready to brace for impact, right? Like they know here it comes, and they're like their eyes kind of closed, they chest up. You can't do that and then defend a jump shot, a turnaround. You can't do both.
Agreed.
And I said on this channel, I don't think Brandon Ingram's the better scorer because I'm like, he scores with people draped up all over him. To me, if you're going to be my scorer, I need you to create separation consistently. I need you to get clean looks consistently. If you're wrestling with Sam Merrill, bro, I can't. What am I going to do with that?
Facts.
You know what I mean? And RJ and Scottie are thriving in this series. One, because their defenders really aren't that good. Number two, they're more physical.
You think Evan Mobley is not a good defender?
No, I'm saying the guys that are guarding our perimeter players. Evan Mobley's not guarding Brandon Ingram.
True.
Or RJ Barrett. He's guarding Scottie to an extent. But
Here's my question for you. What if the Cavaliers' adjustment is to put Evan Mobley on Brandon Ingram and put Dean Wade on Scottie Barnes?
That'd be a waste of his talent.
It'd be a waste.
Scottie was hunting Dean Wade today. Like he was a mismatch.
Evan Mobley as well.
Everyone was a mismatch for Scottie today.
They don't have anyone who can guard him.
That's right.
They have no matchup for him. And in fact, I would argue there's only one matchup in the entire Eastern Conference. No, there's two matchups in the entire Eastern Conference for him. Jason. Okay, so there's three. OG Anunoby, Jason Tatum, SR Thompson. Those are your three matchups. Those are the three matchups that I genuinely believe could give him some trouble. Apart from those three players, you don't have anybody in the Eastern Conference that troubles me at all. In the Western Conference, once again, you go to Amen Thompson, maybe
Aaron Gordon,
maybe Tamani Kamara. You know, he has the size to battle with him a little bit. Maybe Aaron Gordon can give him some, you know, because he can get into his handle a little bit. He's handsy. But like, yeah, there aren't a lot. And honestly, he's torched the Denver Nuggets. Someone said Giannis. No, I'm sorry. I have seen Scottie destroy Giannis way too many times for me to give a shit about Giannis.
Giannis is not fluid enough with his movements. He's like sometimes he's like on skates. His legs are too long. He's like a deer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and honestly, this is going right back to year two. Scottie has given Giannis the work every time he's faced them. He clearly does not respect him at all.
Yeah, I never thought, like, people would say he's a great athlete, and I'm like, LeBron was a significantly greater athlete to me than Giannis because he's just more fluid.
Sure.
Because he's not long. I mean, length has depreciating benefits to a certain degree, right? Because even Wemby is not super fluid, right? He will struggle. You can get up into his dribble, but he's 7'6". So there are benefits, but I'm just saying.
You do have a roster that is almost tailor-made to guard Victor Wembanyama if you ever do get to that point. I think between Scottie and CMB, unless Wemby gets a lot stronger, they'll be able to really, really limit some of the stuff that he likes to do, especially off the dribble. I think I just feel very, very comfortable about these two guys going forward as, you know, building blocks for something, and they play well together. Defensively and offensively, they have figured out ways to play off of each other. And again, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to play off of Scottie Barnes. He makes it stupidly easy. Set a screen, roll hard, he will find you. Relocate, he will find you. Flare off a little bit from that screen, he will find you. Like, he is not a difficult person to play with, almost to the point where when I find a player who does not know how to play off of him, RJ knows how to play off of him very instinctively. Like, they have positive lineup numbers. Chris Boucher, you know, people always used to talk shit about Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher had great lineup synergy with Scottie Barnes. So honestly, at this point, if you can't find a way to play with him, you're trying not to play with him. And that is unfortunate.
IQ. Shout out to Immanauel Quickley.
Emanuel Quickley, yeah. I mean, you know, IQ going as far as saying, you know, he's the most unselfish superstar. He's the only superstar I've ever seen. If you know he's a superstar, why do you keep missing him on every single cut? Like, that is the shocking part about Immanauel Quickley, over forcing it to RJ Barrett. But you know what? Shout out to RJ Barrett. Had a great one tonight. Nolan coming on with his Tempo shirt. Nolan has created his own Tempo podcast. How are you doing, Nolan? How'd you feel about this
Yep. Doing great. Working on finishing up the first episode for the podcast.
I
But
just don't
yeah,
understand.
I'm in here to talk about the Raptors tonight because my God, what a defensive performance they put on tonight.
Yes, that was incredible.
And like to me, like this was an RJ legacy game completely. Like I don't want to sound too much like Shannon here, but yeah, like the shots that RJ was hitting tonight, like I've never seen him hit those shots in his whole Toronto Raptors tenure. Like it was
Definitely
kind
seen
of
him make those
nuts.
shots. I've definitely seen him
threes.
make those shots, man.
No,
No,
with
but
all,
hitting
no,
like
with all due
5
respect,
threes in a game is not like something RJ does on a normal basis. Like that was insane, especially like the level of difficulty of shot he was taking and making tonight. It was just
He was super dialed in. Like he
Yeah.
had that, like there's an anxiety that comes with playing at home. There is an anxiety that comes with, a must-win game 3 in this situation. There's an anxiety that you must feel playing in front of your home crowd, playing in front of your fans, playing in front of your family, right? To perform. And a lot of people take that pressure and then they kind of implode with it. Like it doesn't go in the right direction. This is adrenaline more than anything. I can't even imagine what RJ Barrett was going through like in that like moment prior to the game, like just like, oh my God, I gotta perform. This is the and to take that, bottle that energy and channel it into a productive way, that is very zen of him. Like that is mental control. And again, like I made a tweet, and I think in fact I've talked about this multiple times. I think RJ is a playoff riser because in these moments, quite frankly, when the game slows down, a lot of it does come down to physicality, force, mentality. This type of stuff is really like the playoffs are testing your brain as much as they are testing your body and your skill set. And your brain sometimes says it's hard to go in there and get hit again. I don't want to go in again. I don't want to make that closeout. I don't want to rotate. I don't want to get back. And I think RJ Barrett has proven himself at this point to be a person who cares enough about the right things, winning, showing up, representing his city. It's been really amazing to see. And I wonder how much a performance like this will swing how the Raptors feel about him going forward, because he has been on the chopping block for 2 straight years. And it's an awkward conversation to have after a game like this. Is like, with all that he costs you defensively in the first 2 games, and let's just not even mince words about it. We're talking like 40 points in the first game are pretty much like him and almost him alone, or him and 1 week's ad rotation not happening, him not making a closeout. Do you then say, okay, well, we're lucky enough to have a superstar or a superstar-ish player in Scottie Barnes who isn't a defensive liability? As long as we don't have a second defensive liability out there with RJ, he can still survive in winning in a winning set. Because look, the Knicks weren't a bad defense with him on the court, and they had him and Julius Randle. So, and neither were positive. RJ has never been a positive defender in his life at the NBA level. So maybe you can construct a defense where you have a solid point of attack defender, not Immanauel Quickley, but maybe someone like a Jalen Suggs, a Derek White, someone like that. And with the combination of adding some rim protection behind him, either through the draft or free agency or a trade, now you're like, okay, RJ, can we get you to buy in 100% to take on your assignment and just do the necessary work to be competent enough that we can cover for you? Because that defense that he played on Evan Mobley, that was perfect. Just hold position long enough for Scottie to come over and recover on that block. That's all I need from you. I don't need you to be, a stopper. I just need you to not miss rotations and to not be too lazy to close out and stuff. So
I'm sorry. No, I gotta pour some water on the RJ thing just a little bit though. I mean, am I the only one who was riddled with anxiety up until the 4th quarter? Like some of the missed free throws. I'm not taking anything away from RJ. He played really well, but it was touch and go. It was touch and go there, and the explosion in the 4th was great. A lot of made threes and some good decision making, but this isn't the RJ game for me. Like, this is the CMB game for me. Like, that was a magical performance from a rookie. I'll never forget this game. Like, this game makes me think about like when I was like watching Derrick Rose as a rookie when he was playing for the Bulls. Like, that's how good he was. and he's the unsung hero in this win. And like, again, I'm not taking anything away from RJ. He's like the hometown kid, but without CMB, like you just forget the whole thing. Like we're not winning this game.
I don't
Like
think
we're not even close to winning this game.
I don't think you win this game without RJ either. And I think that's the beautiful thing is like you don't win this game without RJ. You don't win this game without CMB. You don't win this game without Scottie. Like those three probably deserve 3 chains all for themselves, right?
And Battle. You're not winning without Battle.
And you're probably not
Battle's
winning without
huge
Battle.
too.
Battle coming in late. And even when like he wasn't splashing threes, because I think a lot of people are going to be like, well, you know, he splashed 4 threes in a row. Nobody else on this team was going to do that for you. I mean, granted, Emmanuel Quickley's out. He's the only other player who has that type of volume. See, like that's the beautiful thing about CMB. Sorry, Jameson Battle is not only does he have the efficiency, he also has the volume. He can do for you what Max Strus does for them. And he's doing it on a minimum contract, by the way. So it's like, you know, you got a couple of guys here who are your unsung heroes, and 2 of them don't have contracts beyond next year. So, you know, just you know, like planting the seeds right now. Jameson Battle is going to get paid, dude. So yeah.
I just want to. Recruiter dude had to pour water on the RJ thing. Just for fairness, CMB was asked at halftime, you know, what was the adjustment? You know, they said how they're guarding us, which is they're not guarding me. If you watch the game, they're not even guarding him. He's throwing push shots near the rim. Even when he's at the free throw line, they're not guarding him. Shout out to CMB, he's making them pay. But up until I would say maybe the third quarter, they didn't look his way. He had the ball and they just looked at him. And he said, fine, I'll take 2 points. And that's the difference between him and Jakob. Jakob gets the ball and he's looking to pass, do a handoff, set a screen. And half the time I'm yelling at the screen, bro, they're not even looking at you. Be aggressive. And that's where CMB is much better than he is. Because he talked about eating up the space that they're giving him. You don't have to shoot. And that's what he's doing. And what's really happening is they're disrespecting him to such the disrespect is so big. He dropped 25. He's not a 20-point scorer, but if they guard him like that, he's a 20-point scorer.
Yo, who the hell is mouth breathing? Is that you, Lane? Are you mouth?
No, sir.
Who the hell is mouth breathing, bro? It's like Darth Vader. Okay. Luke, I am your father. Okay. What's good, Lane? Your boy Jameson Battle popped off.
Go Bucks, baby. Go Bucks. What a night for the Buckeyes.
What is that thing that we do when we IO? Let's go. Okay.
What a night for the Buckeyes. Had 4 first-round draft picks in the NFL draft, and the Jameson Battle. You love to see it.
This is RJ Barrett's shot chart in the 4th quarter, by the way. That is
pull-up. There was a pull-up in there.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, 6 for 6, man. That is phenomenal. That is crazy. Yeah. Okay, seriously, someone is breathing into the microphone like really hard. So you just need to pull away. Whoever's doing it. Could be Nolan, could be anyone. I'm not really sure who it is, but someone's breathing real hard. Okay. Just want to take a look at Scottie Barnes, 3rd quarter. Man, that one pull up. And then everything in the paint, right down middle. I do like the fact that the Raptors, for the most part, were able to avoid inefficient shots. Like they took a lot of threes tonight. And yeah, I think that's just, this was a math game. This was as much of anything. This was a math game. And here you have Jameson Battle in the 3rd quarter, did not score. And in the 4th quarter, just went in fuego from that most dangerous spot on the court above the break. Did not miss a shot in the 4th quarter. This is why he got the chain. This 1 quarter right here. And this was winning time, right? 1, 2, 3 happened to be in almost the exact same space. One after another for Jameson Battle. Like truly ridiculous.
He don't miss versus the Cavs.
For real.
So I keep seeing Cavs fans, and I've been talking to my buds. Like, you know, I watched the game with them, and I've been talking with them, and they're like, yeah, well, we're not going to shoot that poorly again. And you guys aren't going to be that hot again like you guys had your magnet ball game. And my response was, if Brandon Ingram plays this poorly in Game 4, he won't be on the team next year. 1, so he's playing. If he wants to stay in Toronto, he's playing to stay here. And then 2, you guys have perennial playoff chokers on your team. Like, which one of what Cavaliers player has had sustained playoff success? Name one. There's not one.
God, Max Strus,
Donovan Mitchell.
Other
Max
than not
Strus.
Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is the definition of playoff choker. Other than the bubble year,
late
which
series.
isn't even his fault.
Late in the series, he might throw a game.
Second round, he's a second round choker. If you're gonna give him that, first round, he torches people.
I mean, honestly, like here's the thing: Max Strus, I have seen go unbelievably cold when it matters. James Harden,
who
I've
do
seen
we
literally throw games.
Who do you okay? Game on the line, or series on the line, whatever. What do you think is more likely to happen? Brandon Ingram stays cold the rest of the series, or Max Strus stays extremely hot the rest of the series? Like that's what we're talking about here. Like, I don't think Harden and Mitchell will be
honestly. I thought the Cavs bench played really well. Like, Merrill was really good. Like, that weak side rebounding that we kept giving up all game was driving me insane. And Strus was hunting rebounds. He was playing really smart. Merrill was good, although he didn't shoot that well. But like, I don't think the Cavs shot that badly. Actually, I thought they shot pretty well.
No, they were fine. Just they're starters.
We have figured out the mouth breathing is actually recruiter dude. Yeah. You might just need to lower your mic a little bit. Just a little bit. Or at least move away from your mic a little bit. Yeah. I agree. I don't think the Cavs bench was a problem today. I think their starters were the problem. I think their defensive toughness was the problem. Okay, it's not recruiter dude because he's on mute right now, and I'm still hearing.
Nolan. It's Nolan.
Okay,
Nolan.
There we go.
It's me.
Nolan's mic is too good, man. Your mic is too good. It's picking up everything.
Okay, I apologize, recruiter dude, for accusing you of being a mouth breather. You are not a mouth breather. Recruiter
Tell that
dude,
to my wife.
Recruiter dude is a human humidifier.
Is it better now,
bro? It might be. I gotta tell you, man. Like, mouth breathing is bad for your facial shape. We need to change this. Breathe through your nostrils. To anyone out there who does suffer from mouth breathing, there's one of my favorite Raptors of all time who actually did suffer from a little bit of mouth breathing. That was Andrea Bargnani. I have to say, if you are somebody who breathes through your mouth, it is bad for your facial shape. So put some tape on your mouth when you go to sleep so you breathe through your nostrils. It is much better for you. You will feel much better. Someone said it's also bad because of sleep apnea. Sure. Yeah. Anyways, this is transformed from the Jameson Battle game to the CMB game to the RJ game to the Scottie game. It's nice to have options. It is now turned into the mouth breathing podcast. Mouth breather podcast. Maybe we should all mouth breathe for a little bit.
I have a question for you, Rob. Why did it take us to the third game to attack Harden and Mitchell in a lot of their weak perimeter defenders? Because if you watch,
right,
I'm watching a lot of the playoffs, right? They have Jalen Brunson work every single possession, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
The Wolves are making, Jokic and Murray defend in space all the time. The Lakers are abusing Alperen Şengün. Now, some of it, I believe, is we just don't have the players, the skill set. We don't have the skills,
sure,
to attack these weak defenders. But today was much better.
I think the word is reverence. I keep using the word reverence. I'm going to keep using it. It's a good word. I think the Raptors have shown this Cavaliers team way too much respect, and I think it's kind of a strange thing, Like, sometimes you go into a series and there's a mental game that you lose before the series even starts, right? And the mental game is basically like, we need to have the mental edge in this series. We need to approach this series as if we are the better team. We need to acknowledge our limitations, that we are not, in fact, going to win as we are aura farming against Donovan Mitchell. We do need to treat these players as if they are who they are. But the mental edge is that I see a path to success and I am not going to beat myself before I get there. I think the Raptors very much in the first couple of games acted like they were starstruck by James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. I think they have a lot of young players, and I think they gave them a little bit too much respect. And I think that can happen. That can happen. These are big names in the industry, man. These are big names as it pertains to NBA history. Bless you to whoever that was. Or if that was a dog, shout outs. I just think you need to attack them as if they are human beings, because and one of the things is I think the Raptors did this with LeBron James too. You know, for years I felt like when I listened to DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry talk about LeBron, there was always a sense of like, well, we don't have that guy, we can't stop that guy. And I think that's part of the aura of a superstar, is that they beat you before they even step on the court, because there's such a heart attack and like, oh, what's that guy going to do? I have to focus on him. And 80% of the impact is being created by who the player is, and 20% is created by the over response to who you think he's about to become. So I think, you know, treating James Harden as what he is fair. He's a great pull-up jump shooter. He's a great passer. You definitely don't want to give him passing lanes, but he's also a very weak defender, and you need to attack him. And I think the cool thing is I don't think CMB or Scottie Barnes are afraid of this man at all. I don't feel like Jameson Battle came in like he was scared of anybody. And I think right now, if you're Darko Rajakovic, you're just finding that there are dogs on your team that don't look scared, and certain players, right, who just don't look scared of anybody. I don't think Scottie looks scared of anybody on that other team. I don't think CMB looks scared of their bigs. I don't think, you know, Jacoby, Jameson, Jamal, RJ, none of these guys have looked really scared in this moment. And I think you're finding out a very good thing about your team is you have winners. You've spent all this time drafting winners, investing in winners, and it's showing. It's showing. You know, these guys have been counted out. A lot of these guys, late round picks, 3-star recruits. CMB just, you know, doesn't look phased at all. It's like, yeah, that's Evan Mobley. Bye, Evan Mobley.
I thought Mamu was a bit rattled. Like he missed that and one, then he missed both his free throws. Like we could really use him in this series.
He's a little bit rushed right now. He's a little bit sped up in this series, more so than anything. He just looks a little bit out of sorts. Yeah. But hopefully he calms down, you know. Yeah.
What is the coaching staff like? What does Darko tell Ingram after this game? Because I remember he didn't score a point. We were up like 8 or something in the second quarter, and you can see him pressing, trying to get a basket. And it's like, dude, we're winning. We're winning. Do we even force any action his way?
No.
Because theoretically, he could score 20 in the flow of the offense, right? Like, do we have to run these 15-second sets?
At this point, you ask Brandon Ingram to be Norman Powell.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't. He has not proven that this series he can be anything more than that. If you can give us 15 to 16 points a game on 40% from three efficiency, great, perfect, beautiful. That's all I'm asking from you.
Sure. Yeah.
I hate that it's come to that, but that's what it's came to, and I've seen it happening all year long. Like I don't.
It's his high dribble. It's his crazy high dribble.
We just won, and I don't want to be negative, but I've seen it's like I'm sitting in a car on railroad tracks, and it's like, oh, the train's like 2 miles away. You know, it's not going to be here for a while. It's like I see it coming though. I see it coming. I see it coming. I see it coming, and it just finally crashed. Now, thank God for RJ. Thank God for Scottie. Thank God for CMB. You know, it didn't happen tonight, but. I think if he wants to get up there again and start talking about coaches using me as only a screener, but like Scottie needs to bitch slap him. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Like genuinely, I'm so tired of it. I won't say anything for now other than I want him off this team, win or lose this series. I want him gone. Like great, we rehabbed his value. Bye.
How when he just undid all the value added in this series?
Yeah, if anything, his value went down after.
Well, here's the thing: some dumbass will. I'm not even asking for value for him. I just want his contract. Like his contract being gone is value enough.
All right, get New Orleans and Sacramento on the phone.
Get Sacramento on the phone.
I genuinely disagree. I think Ingram with space is a positive player. I think Ingram without space is a negative player. I think he found that out in most lineup synergies in New Orleans as well. Is you need a stretch big to be able to extend that paint defender out for him. He's also not dealt well with the physicality that they're playing him with. Like, they are getting away with murder on this dude, right? Like, they really are. Dude, the way that they are grabbing him away from the basketball is truly insane. Now, he's not dealing well with it, but I don't think anyone has ever accused Brandon Ingram of being a super physical player. And this might be, one of those things where, okay, so remember that thing that Darko Rajakovic said last year about Chris Boucher? He said, I'm treating him like a rookie, right? Now, a lot of people found that offensive, but honestly, Chris is out of the league right now. So probably a valid point by Darko is that we need to restructure how you think the game through, because you do have natural gifts and natural talents, but we want to harness them in a more productive way. I think right now there's a bit of a blessing in disguise happening for Brandon Ingram, in that he is watching his team win without him, or in spite of him. And I think in spite of him is the right word. Hopefully this will make the transition to optimized Ingram, which is, Optimus Ingram. Let's call him a new player. Optimus Ingram. Optimus Ingram needs to get into the offseason and become a better defender. Optimus Ingram needs to go back and watch film, not highlights, on spots that he can find on the court. Optimus Ingram needs to get stronger. I think a lot stronger, to be able to punish some of those mismatches, because he's so high up with everything. I think Optimus Ingram needs to just become a better three-point shooter in general. I think there's so many things that Brandon Ingram, and a talent like Brandon Ingram, you just don't find this combination of size, skill in a 6'9" all-star, two-time all-star. And the idea of wanting to just dump him for anything, I think, is very reactionary.
Absolutely.
I felt the same way all year long. It's like tonight, my buddy asked me, Cavs fan, he's like, would you rather have Michael Porter Jr. or Brandon Ingram? And I was like, damn, that's where we're at.
And PJ is a really good player.
I know he's a really good player.
I know he's a phenomenal player. I'd much rather have MPJ.
Look, I walked into this year saying I think Ingram is a better fit around Scottie than Pascal. I walk out of this year saying I'm wrong. But that's not to take away from what Brandon Ingram has been for this team, which is a much improved rim protector, a much more willing participant in the defense, even though he is still lacking in that department. I do believe that the passing can get way better. I think he can get way better. And again, this is not the way we typically talk about 28-year-olds or 29-year-olds who are two-time All-Stars. But I do believe that I have watched players like DeMar DeRozan optimize themselves significantly after the age of 29. And if Brandon Ingram is going to, if Brandon Ingram is as hard a worker as people swear he is, and I've known plenty of people around his circles that say nobody's going to outwork this guy. This guy's amazing. You cannot take away the calming influence that his presence has on this team, on his younger teammates. You cannot, take away his impact on Jacoby Walter. You cannot take away his influence on Scottie. You also can't take away the fact that he settled for 9 shots today, and I don't know another all-star alpha scorer who would have gone out without taking 20. So he's trying to do the right thing. It's hard when your entire identity is scoring to do other things. It's really hard. But I think the beautiful thing is this summer, he can learn a different way to succeed on a basketball court, and that's really never been his case.
I'm just hoping that this is an elite reverse jinx. That's what I'm hoping I'm doing right now.
Okay.
An immaculate reverse jinx.
That would be great.
It would be amazing. It would be phenomenal. We don't win this series without him being good.
No, absolutely not. You cannot win this game. You can't win. You probably won't win another game if he's awful.
I mean, I have full confidence.
If he's on the bench awful, you could.
Well, you know what? There was this tweet that I released where he picked up his 4th foul, and I said, Brandon Ingram is so selfless. Knowing that he is hurting his team out there, he decided to pick up the 4th foul, knowing that he has a coach out there who will not bench him. He just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to bench myself and pick up this 4th foul, get my ass out of the game so you can get someone better in. Again,
Rob,
yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thought it'd be this bad 3 games in. Nobody.
Okay, look, here's the thing.
Not even his worst enemy could have predicted this.
Okay. Counterpoint.
Okay.
They are denying one player the ball on this entire team.
Okay.
And that's Brandon Ingram.
I have another counterpoint. Sam Merrill is pushing him off his spot.
Okay. I'm not.
Counterpoint. Max Strus is taking him off the dribble, getting to the basket and getting fouled. Bro, it's bad.
Counterpoint. Why isn't he getting more rebounds? Like, we're getting out rebounded like
Bro,
crazy.
It's bad. I get it, but it's bad, bro. Like, it's really bad.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of that is on Darko. For the first 2 games, the game plan was so obvious. Just force it to Brandon Ingram. So,
but
I mean, if the Raptors had played like this in the first 2 games, then they would have.
I don't think.
I don't know. I think it could have been a totally different series for BI.
Scottie and RJ cannot score 66 points if he is not on the court, at least attracting some element of that attention away from them. And look, man, this is why you have 5 players out there. The screens that Colin Murray-Boyles set to get Jameson Battle and Scottie Barnes occasionally, the roll threat, the just simple gravity of rolling and being a solid finisher is enough that I'm willing to say maybe Colin Murray-Boyles scored 21 points today? He scored 21. He probably was involved in about 45 points.
Yeah, but CMB ain't in question here. CMB ain't on trial.
No, I understand that. And so therein lies the point. If Brandon Ingram is occupying Dean Wade, or if he is getting blitz, or they're denying him, top locking him, what does that do for the defensive availability of positive defenders? Again, there's 2 guys on the court at all times you can attack with the Cavaliers. All times. Sometimes there's 3. None of those players is on Ingram most of the time. So that means while they have been an incredible defense, I think it is fair to say Jared Allen in 25 feet of space guarding RJ Barrett is not the same thing as Jared Allen at the rim. So what Ingram is able to do is he is able to jam up their defense by taking one really good defender out of the play and dragging him to the corner, and then basically saying, okay, now let's reorient the court and let's find a mismatch. You're going to have a much easier time with that. So again, I think my complaint all year has been, I don't think Darko has used him properly. He needs more space. You're playing, how many times is it Jamal Shedd's man that's coming over on his handle? If you don't know at this point he's not great at handling double teams, I don't know what game you're watching, because he's clearly struggling with it. So Immanuel Quickley playing in this series or not playing in this series is probably swinging Ingram's points per game by like 5, 8, 9 points per game. Okay, it's a huge thing.
Wasn't the spacing better today though?
The spacing was a lot better today, and you see, while Ingram was not great, he certainly wasn't as bad as he's been. So you improve the spacing. You still play Jamal Shed 30 minutes. Let's just be real. That's a little too much Jamal Shed, right? So you don't have any other options, because Shed is utilized on the other end to organize the offense a little bit and play some point of attack defense. You put Immanuel Quickley out there, suddenly those angles that you take are just a lot harder for the Cavs defense, and suddenly it's not so easy to deny Ingram the touch. And also, like, just look at the shots that he's missing. Some of them are very makeable shots, right? So you can go through 3 poor games. I mean, would it surprise anyone if he had 38 points in the next game? It wouldn't surprise me at all.
A little bit.
Surprise me, but
dude, he could go completely berserk. And
okay, here's the thing. This is the worst 3-game stretch of the season at this time. This
is the worst 3-game stretch of his career.
Yeah,
probably
ever. This is unseasonable. Now, I understand that people are thinking like, oh my God, his playoff value is, his trade value just tanked. I'll look at it this way. I don't think his trade value is tanked. I think any intelligent person who's watching these games can understand that he is struggling with a lot of their physicality, but also clearly this is, if they win this series and he rebounds even a little bit, like even if he gets back to averaging like 17, 18 points for the next 3 games, he is still going to get a massive amount of credit. A massive amount of credit for consistently occupying one of the best defenders. He's always like one of the best 2 defenders. Again, the parts that the parts that fry me are when he's allowing himself to get top locked by Sam Merrill. Like that throws me.
Pushes him out the paint.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you're a 6'9" player, none of us up here are 6'9", but when you're 6'9", right? When you are 6'9", having a 6'3" guy who's able, 6'4" guy who's able to just body you and get into your body and literally get away with fouling you every single play away from the ball, that is very tough, especially when you yourself are quite wiry. Like Kevin Durant has this shit happen to him all the time. It's really difficult, right? Now Durant is different than Ingram because his game is compact. He takes one dribble, boom, pull up, he punishes them. What Ingram needs to learn, and I hope that he can figure it out,
in year 10
is that, yes, in year 10, is that everything you do to open you up is useless because you're always open. You're 6'9", just go up. He needs to learn to play his game within 2 dribbles. If I was Brandon Ingram's trainer, here's what we're doing, okay? We are playing a game. If you take 1 dribble, you're good. If you take 2 dribbles, you're good. If you take 3 dribbles, you lose 3 points. If you take 4 dribbles, you run suicides. That's the game we're playing all summer. My whole training regimen will be get your entire game off in 2 to 3 dribbles, max. And if you take a shot with no dribbles, I'm giving you a point whether you make it or not. That's the game we're playing all summer. All summer we're scrimmaging. I don't give a fuck who you're playing against because it really doesn't matter at this point because no one is really touching your shot release. And we're just going to work on speeding you up. Everything oriented to around athleticism, speed, strength, and optimizing your game to come off of off-ball actions, utilizing screens. We're going to make you better. We're going to make you a better screen setter. All of these things have to go into Brandon Ingram becoming a better basketball player for this team because his version of I'm a better basketball player is aura farming and, like 4, 5, 6 dribble combinations. And hopefully what he's realizing because he's forced to play with so little space on the Raptors team. Honestly, he has never played with this little space in his life. He played with LeBron when he was with the Lakers. Even for the earlier version of the Lakers, I don't think they were this space-starved. This is one of the most space-starved offenses in the NBA. It forces you to get efficient with your dribbles. Again, when Daryl and I were talking about Scottie's handle earlier in this episode, there's definitely a path where you open up more space for this guy, and now all the reps that you've been doing with this limited spacing just completely come into fruition. So I think Brandon Ingram is going to be fine in this series. I really wouldn't be betting on him to have 4 straight bad games. But if he continues to occupy their best defenders and he continues to move quickly off the ball, I have no issues with him scoring 9 points or 25 points. I really don't care.
I also just wanted to point out, we've been talking about like Ingram's offensive game in terms of like a shot making. I really think a big thing that has been plaguing him throughout the couple games of this series is his inability to handle the ball and like keep a tight handle when penetrating. I think he's lost the ball a lot, and a lot of the Raptors' problems in the first couple games was taking care of the ball. And I think they were doing a better job of that tonight. But there were still times that Ingram couldn't keep his handle together. So that needs to improve if they want to have an opportunity to.
But they're physical. He's not strong enough. They veer him off his path.
It's not about the strength. It's about keeping the handle tight.
They veer him off his path. Like he can't go where he wants to go. It's like
okay, but he's still dribbling the ball out way too far. Like it's getting picked off all the time. So I think the handle needs to improve.
Like when the whistle is so unkind, every single dribble when you're 6'9" is like compounding the chance of a deflection or getting bumped off. So, I mean, I bet in a gym with nobody guarding him, he would have an insanely tight dribble. But when you're not getting the whistle and guys are allowed to literally maul you, your and you're not super strong, like you can't power through it, like of course he's going to struggle. So I think that's why Rob's point is excellent. He needs to get his game off in 2 dribbles or less, because every single time he bounces the ball, it's exponentially increasing the risk of losing it.
Yeah.
Well, the more salient point that Rob made in an earlier live was like the emphasis on screening. Like if he set more screens, I don't think his frame is so weak that he can't set more screens. Because like if he could screen with if Quickley comes back, like that would be huge for us. It's so obvious. I didn't even actually I didn't meditate on it earlier until Rob talked about it, and I thought like, yes, that would be huge. But he just doesn't do it enough, you know? And he just doesn't have the physicality, I guess, for it. And he's not being asked to do it. Because if he could do it, they would be asking him to do it more, seemingly.
But to get a good screen, all you have to do is just time it and get in position and stand still. And I mean, yes, obviously size and strength matter, but like it's a skill set that you have. Like I've seen small basketball players set good screens. It's not only the big, obviously the size and the strength makes it better, but I've seen short guards. I've seen Jamal Shed set screens. Like Immanauel Quickley has occasionally set screens. Like I've seen it happen occasionally.
Screen setting's an intangible. It's an intangible.
It's just about willingness.
You have to You have to have the will to do it.
Is anyone up here actually who has played? Were you a good screener or not?
I was.
Yeah.
Had to be.
You have to have a good center of gravity. You have to have like strong legs, and he doesn't have that.
Exactly. I've played with a lot of really bad screeners, and I can tell you the number of offensive fouls your offense is going to pick up. One of the reasons that a lot of teams don't utilize their best players as screeners is very often you pick up offensive fouls if the screen is either the ball handler goes too early or the position is off. You see Jamal Shed every single game. He draws almost 1 foul every game on a screener, right? So with a guy like Scottie Barnes, with a guy like Giannis, with a guy like Brandon Ingram, if you're going to utilize them as screeners, you're going to open yourself up to the potential of offensive fouls as well as defensive fouls. So sometimes you really want to be sure that a guy can do it, number one. Number two, what is the advantage generated on that screen? Which is really going to come down to the physics of the player that we're talking about, how easily they're able to hold their ground in that situation. And I don't know if Brandon Ingram, as currently constructed, can be a good screener. When I look at him physically, that is not the physique of a good screener. The players on this team who have the physical makeup to be good screeners are guys like Trace Jackson Davis, guys like RJ Barrett, potentially,
CMB.
maybe a guy like a Jamal Shed, maybe someone like Jameson Battle, if he could really, really work on it. He does seem to have a wider frame and, you know, he can hold it a little bit better. And because and again, like if I was running an NBA offense, my number one thing would be to find shooters who can screen. Like this would be the cheat code to unlock someone like a Scottie Barnes or Brandon. And I don't care what position you play either, by the way. You can be a guard screener, a wing screener, or a fucking, you know, you could be a big screener. You know, Miles Turner is nothing to write home about as a screener, but he's good enough and he is able to, you know, create advantages from that. Even someone like an Al Horford. Al Horford's great. Go get Al Horford. You know, seems like they're about to blow shit up in Golden State. Go get Al Horford. Maybe, you know, again, like there's so many opportunities. We don't know what those trade opportunities will be, but I'm telling you, like, there are players who are literally on the court specifically because they can set screens. Someone like Josh Hart, you know, I look at guys like Gary Payton II. You know, these are guys who have that skill set. But the idea that you can just teach a player to do it, I'll give you 2 famous examples of players who everyone thought could do it but couldn't. Ben Simmons is one, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is the second. Everyone thought that these guys had the frame, the size, the physicality, the athleticism to be dominant screeners, and that this could open them up. When they gave Giannis that responsibility, it just wasn't effective. He didn't understand angles on screens. It's just not something that was in his wheelhouse. When they gave Ben Simmons the responsibility, it was basically offensive foul, offensive foul, offensive foul. It was like 5 offensive fouls immediately every time he tried to do it. It's not a skill set. He doesn't know how to do it. Scottie's not a great screener either. If I was working with Scottie, that would be one thing I would work on all summer. Is just like learning how to set proper screens. So it's not so easy. But if Ingram could even ghost screen, forget actually screening, just set a ghost screen to create that kind of separation, and then, you know, kind of like what Battle did today, I think that could also go a long way. You don't have to
100%.
take out the hard screens.
100%. I do have a question, and it's kind of built off of another question, depending on the answer. Do you think there's a chance Quickley plays in this series?
From the sounds of it, it did not sound like he was going to play in this series.
Okay.
Because when he talked to the media before the series, he said, what did he say? He said, I'm trying to stay engaged as if I'm going to play in this series.
Right.
I'm not sure you say that if you actually are going to play in this series.
That's very fair. And I guess this is a little bit of a hypothetical then. If he was to come back, do you think it'd be in a bench role?
I think it would be the first time you could justify doing it. Right?
I think that's the only way it could be done, in my opinion.
Well, it's not like your starting lineup is dominant.
No,
right?
I mean, I understand starting Jakob because you don't want to start CMB and then get splits where you have to have Jakob on the floor because CMB is tired. So I understand that. I really like starting Jacoby today, even though he had a cold shooting night. You know, like I really love starting him. Gives you extra spacing, and I know it moves RJ to the 3, but against the Cavs, it's not the worst thing in the world moving RJ to the 3. Because it's not like their backcourts has any height or, you know, anything like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how you justify putting Jacoby spacing on the bench to bring back IQ, because if he sucks, like hypothetically, if he plays a series and he's not ready to go, like you could be down 10-2 real quick.
Jacoby is not spacing properly right now at all.
No, but you
they're
feel
not
his presence.
No, there's two. I believe there's 3 shooters on this team where their presence is truly felt, and you might say 3.5. One is Jameson Battle. Immediate, automatic. They don't leave him for 1 second. They're hugging him like teams hugged Klay Thompson. So he may be a relative unknown to most national NBA media people, but if this guy continues to play in the series, they're going to find out who he is real quick. That's one. Number 2 is Immanauel Quickley. Teams do not leave him for whatever reason. They believe that he can kill them. The third, frankly, who the fuck is the third? Third is it Mamu? Yeah, I mean, Mamu is going to be my half. Who the fuck was the third? Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is the third. Ingram is the third player that they will not leave as a shooter, and Mamu is my half. AJ Lawson is shooting above 40% from 3. They are treating him like he shoots like Scottie Barnes. Jacoby Walter shot above 40% from 3. They are treating him like he's OG Anunoby, basically.
But that's the thing.
They're treating him like a 35% three-point shooter. So basically what I'm saying is there's a difference between how well you shoot and how well teams expect you to shoot.
Right. And that's the thing, is he's going to be open and he's going to make his shots.
But him being open is not the point. Him being covered is the point. You don't want him to be open.
They're going to cover him once he makes his shots, though. And that's when it gets really dangerous. Because right now you almost have 3 guys in your starting lineup to where you don't have to respect. And once Jacoby starts making his shots, now you have 2. And then CMB comes in the game. And then Battle or Mamu comes in the game. It's just a completely different story from there on out.
Well, do you think that they're going to cover the Raptors differently because of RJ today? Like, are they going to start really like...
I think RJ's going to start seeing a little bit more double teams once he catches the ball. They might try to get out of his hands.
I don't think it's really going to change their game plan, to be honest. I think they're banking on the fact that he won't continue this hot streak. And I think the same thing with Jacoby. Like, they'll live with Jacoby beating them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know if you can live with a guy like that beating you, though.
You can.
I mean,
you can.
Volume.
Spacing wise, I don't like. You can live with a guy like RJ beating you from 3. Because he's not going to do it all the time. If Jacoby gets hot, that's not something you want to see game 4, game 5, game 6. Like you don't want to see that.
That's a big F. I mean, Kenny Atkins is not going to just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like the strategy will remain. Can the Raptors continue to make shots? Clearly, that's what they don't want us to go out and run. And we stifled them today, obviously, but like they're going to bet that this was a one-off, and game 4 they could be right. So
No, this is how the Cavaliers guard Jacoby. Sorry, Jameson Battle. See, that is how they guard him. And
but he didn't even get a look. He didn't even
Now-
get a shot for like 5 minutes.
Right. And this is like, and again, like you're seeing how far off they're willing to sink on Jacoby. They're giving him about 9, 10, 12, 15. That's about 18 feet.
Yeah,
of
but
space.
doesn't he only shoot like 25% from top of the line?
Well, therein lies the point, right? There's so many things that are going to dictate how a team guards you as a three-point shooter. One of those things is obviously the volume. Are you someone who is going to take 10, 12, 13, 14 threes and absolutely destroy my game plan? Number 2 is obviously efficiency on types of threes you can take. Are you just a catch and shoot guy, or are you someone that I have to stay close enough to that I can't run you off the line? Because there are three-point shooters that frankly can pump fake you, sidestep, and still hit the three. That's a very dangerous type of shooter. I don't like when people look at low volume three-point shooters who only get all their threes from the corner. And then they just like, that guy's a 38% three-point shooter and this guy's a 31% three-point shooter. There was a lot of complicated threes Scottie took last year. I think some of them were awesome. The fact is you want to build up a muscle memory or a skill set where a guy can take a three off the pull-up, take a three coming off the screen, going left, going right, step backs. You want him to be able to hit from the corner. You want relatively solid efficiency from everywhere. Now, it kind of behooves Scottie that he's not really had solid efficiency from anywhere. But Jameson Battle is a hard attack from everywhere on the court. Quickley is as well. So those two guys have to be stuck on. And you cannot give him this much space. Now, once Jacoby hits a couple, the adjustment will come. But it won't be... Even after Jacoby hits a couple, they will not guard him the way they guard Immanauel Quickley the second he walks on the court. And therein lies the point, is like you're banking on Jacoby making them pay, and then after you will reap the benefits. But what if he misses his first 2 or first 3 or misses all 6 shots like he did today? Right now, I would say if you want to do a gravity ranking, I would say Jameson Battle number 1, based on how much he's torched them this year. Immanauel Quickley number 2, Brandon Ingram number 3, Sandro Mamukelashvili number 4, probably Jacoby number 5. Number 6 at this point is hard to figure. Who is the 6th? They don't guard AJ Lawson from 3. That's why he's almost always open. They're guarding Scottie a little bit right now. RJ seems to be more open than Scottie from 3. But honestly, both guys are being guarded. And I think, RJ hit a couple of contested threes today too. Like a few of those were very contested. So, I mean, they're guarding those guys. Like, I just think there's like a different coverage. There's one guy where you trail and you maintain distance at all times. There's another type of guy where you run them off the line because you know that they're going to be helpless off the dribble. There's another type of guy where you just kind of just live with the shot. That's
Right,
like what
which-
the Raptors are doing with like Evan Mobley. They're just like kind of like living with the shot. They're just like, okay, you're going to take threes? Cool.
Which is kind of my point. You're exactly right. To where the number 1 guy has only played game 3. Number 2 is going to be out potentially the whole series. Number 3, spotty. Yeah, not spotty. I'm sorry. Number 3 is cold. Wait till he gets hot. Number 4 and 5 are spotty. What if they get hot? Then it just makes things so much easier for Scottie and RJ. And in a game tonight where it was very hard on both of them because of everyone else, and they took it upon themselves, and they had the game they had. If they can have if both Scottie and RJ can have 80% of the game they had tonight on Sunday, and at least one of those other 4 guys steps up,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be fine, right? And that's my point. Like that's what I'm saying. Is if one of them gets hot, it's dangerous. It's almost like, okay, now we're going back to Cleveland 2-2. And the
Right.
series doesn't start, so you win a game on the road. Right? So you have to win that game on the road. I almost think, like, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would put my mortgage on the Raptors on Sunday. I would because they were so cold. Like everyone says, it was gravity ball game. It was gravity ball game for 2 guys, three guys. Jameson Battle, 3 guys. There's nothing not sustainable outside of those 3, and there's nothing not sustainable in Ingram's cold game. There's nothing not sustainable in Mamu's cold game. There's nothing not sustainable in Jacoby's cold game to where they're going to be like that again.
I mean,
You
I
you
feel
really
good
wanna be-
about Sunday, but
You really want to be
I'll
homeless
take that
really
bet,
bad, huh?
Lane. I need a second home.
That's ambitious.
I wouldn't go that far, man. Like, look, like I think the most foolish thing the Raptors could do right now is listen to Lane on this.
You gotta speak confidence into it somehow.
No offense.
You gotta
But
speak confidence.
you have no. I believe you. I believe that you need to believe that you can go out there and win this series. But to act like you're going to, have anything close to what happened today. Look, there's good, there's lucky. And I talked about this yesterday. I swear to God, everything fucking go back and listen to the live from yesterday, talking about luck. Luck plays a huge part in basketball and in life. Okay. You enter the cafe, you meet the love of your life. You were delayed by one train. You don't enter the cafe. She leaves with her scone and she's fucking somebody else for the rest of her life. I'm just saying, like, you really have to be so clued into the idea that what RJ Barrett did today is absolutely not sustainable.
Yeah.
Now, if this is who he is, sign him up to a max contract. Jameson Battle coming in and giving you 4 threes. I feel like some of the shots he got were absolutely sustainable. You could actually argue the Raptors shot quality index was elite tonight. It was also elite in game 2. The shots did not go in, right? So I love that there's 2 days off. That is very positive for the Raptors. They played their asses off today, and Scottie had cramps and stuff. So you're going to need a better game from Brandon Ingram to win on Sunday. I'll just say it point blank.
I think Jacoby was sick today too.
He was
Yes,
sick.
he was.
Yes, he had an illness, and I think that definitely impacted how he played. So hopefully get well soon, Jacoby, and maybe some of the threes that RJ hit or Jameson Battle hit, Jacoby will hit next game. And this is why you sign multiple shooters. This is why you draft, players who can shoot. And maybe, Jameson Battle doesn't have it, and we have fourth quarter Grady heroics on Sunday.
You know what? In fairness to Lane, Barnes, how efficient he was today, like that was an immaculate performance from him. Like he should be that good. He is that good. Like I noticed that you didn't mention Scottie. Like he was making these beautiful turnaround jump shots, like inside of 10 feet, inside of like 8 feet. And then CMB, like I think that's sustainable. Is that enough? I think it might be enough if you can continue to guard, if you can make Harden like a low efficient player, which I mean that's the taller order, I suppose. But
here's my theory, and Recruiter, I 100% agree with you. Here's my theory though: like if everybody today who played good is 15% worse on Sunday, and everybody who played terrible today is 15% better on Sunday, I feel like that's advantage Raptors.
I can live with that.
I don't think that's I think that's exactly where I'm coming from. Like I don't think that's extremely unreasonable.
Hey Frank, how are you?
Hey, I didn't know I was online. I'm good. Yeah, I feel like I'm from Spain here. I've listened to you since the beginning and feel like I know you guys.
I remember you. How are you doing?
Good. It's cool. My boy and I got up at 2 a.m. and watched the game, and it's morning now. So, but what I wanted to say is really cool is like they're not going to shoot 50% from the three throw line again, and then they're supposed to be up like when they in the second quarter when they missed like 6 3 throws. They sustained that, and then they still managed to not fall apart. Each quarter they won the quarters pretty much at the end, which is really cool. And like you said, I want to see that lineup of Scottie Barnes, Mamu, Colin, and Jacoby Balter and Battle. Like that would be awesome. See a lot more of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think we saw variations and lineup variations today. I do think Scottie's passing was so underrated today. I really do. Like 10 assists, and it felt like 8 of them were like those legit advantage creation assists. There were also a ton of like dropped passes at the rim and shit. And I just think like, he could be so much better than that. But yeah, I really think this was a masterclass type of performance from Scottie.
Yeah.
And you needed all of it. You needed his effort on defense. And for Scottie right now, does anyone want to take a guess what he's averaging in the playoffs after this game? Points per game. Anyone want to guess?
I'm going to go 24.5.
20, yeah.
Any other guesses? Any other guesses?
I don't know.
It's 25.
It's got to be lower than 27.
He's averaging 26.6 points
Wow.
per game
Wow.
in the
And
playoffs.
what's his 3-point percentage? Like 3-pointing is amazing.
I'm pretty sure he's like 50% from three right now.
Yeah.
Or better. And
Mm.
like his true shooting percentage is north of 60. So like basically whatever people said he cannot do, he is doing. To put into context, he is almost scoring at the same rate as Jalen Brunson on greater efficiency.
Yeah.
And it's not role player buckets. These are not like simple catch and shoots in the corner. Some of it is, definitely. Some of it is, you know, I would say it's probably a 60-40 split between star buckets and role player buckets. But that's the case for everybody.
But
Why
like
do
his handle, like, did you see his handle today? That was incredible. Like his handle is.
Absolutely. I think Daryl and I were talking about his handle earlier on. I want to give a big shout out. First of all, can I please say I do not have a Reddit account. I do not have a Reddit account, but I do sometimes look at Reddit to see what they are saying. And one of the things that I've seen on Reddit is that I am a horrible person. That's cool, but I don't really care about that. That's whatever. Like I don't care. People are like, oh, he said this thing 18 years ago. Fuck Reddit. Okay. But what I have seen on Reddit is that Scottie needs a new trainer. I have seen that a lot. I have seen that on Facebook forums. I have seen that in my comments. Like, you tell Scottie's trainer to do this. Tell Scottie's trainer to do that. I'm gonna tell y'all, you can kiss my ass. Straight up, kiss my fucking ass. Because, and I don't want to victory lap too early because obviously Scottie has a long way to go. But here's the thing: I trust my intuition when it comes to people, and I'll tell y'all a story. Like, I don't know if Brian would be cool with me telling this story, but like one of my first memories of like even connecting with Brian was I can't believe someone who played division basketball cares at all what I think. I am a podcaster. I never played Division I basketball. I do not train NBA players. And the fact that this guy even gives 2 seconds to my opinion is such a humbling thought.
Yeah.
It was humbling. It was truly humbling. And I feel, you know, maybe I'm underestimating myself because there's a lot of people now that I know within the NBA world that will sometimes reach out to me and be like, what did you think about this? What did you think of that? And I'm just like, the fuck do I care? What do you care what I think about anything? You're a professional basketball coach. But it's humbling. And he did this before I was anything. I think I had like 3,000 followers or something. He had no reason to believe anything that I was saying, but he'd watched my videos and he said, I think you understand basketball. And that was pretty cool. And I have to say, like, every single time I've ever talked to Brian, there's always been a sense of like reevaluation. There's no stuck-mindedness of like, this must be this way and this is the way. There's always a reevaluation. There's always the work ethic. And I say this as somebody who really admired Michael Jordan so much and got to learn later what Tim Grover, what his trainer, Tim Grover, had done for him. And I was just like, oh, I feel so good that Scottie is in Brian's hands. I feel so good. Every time I hear that Brian is in Toronto, like anytime I see one of his stories and he shows the game from the Raptors game, I'm like, oh, Scottie's about to have a great week.
Yeah.
Right. So to anybody out there who has ever notioned like, oh, he needs to go work with Guard Whisper, he needs to go work whatever, bro, he is already working with one of the best basketball trainers in the world. And he is awesome. And Scottie's growth over the last 4 years is honestly like none of these pundits on ESPN, nobody saw him being this good as an offensive player. And that is truly the work. Someone said the glaze is disgusting. No, you are disgusting. You are disgusting. Your ignorance is disgusting. Honestly, your ignorance is disgusting because to go from a player, honestly, I implore anybody to go watch Scottie Barnes in Florida State. Implore you to go watch the limited counters, handles, everything was grinding. Go watch him in his rookie season. He's a fucking different player. And the idea that people use points per game to justify a lack of growth, they're like, oh, well, you know, he averaged 20, but now he's averaging 18. And it's like, bro, do you understand? Do you understand how he's getting those 18? Like, do you understand, like, the defensive coverages have changed so much against him? And to see him do it at this level, this is the test. Defenses have scouted all of your weaknesses. They know what you can do, what you can't do. They have years of data on you. Teams know if you want to stop Brandon Ingram, get into his body, get into his handle, force him to put the ball on the ground, force him to play around with the basketball, blitz him. You can't do anything to Scottie right now. They're
Yeah.
trying everything. They're throwing a defensive player of the year at him. When that doesn't work, they're throwing Dean Wade at him. They're selectively trying to blitz him. They're trying to double him. They're trying to trap him at the top. You can't do anything. You've done everything. There's no more counters. You don't have an OG Anunoby sitting on your bench right now that you can just throw at this guy. And the very fact that I'm saying there's literally 3 or 4 defenders in this entire league that I would even trust to stop Scottie in a one-on-one situation is a testament to how much he's grown as an offensive player, how much that pull-up jump shooting has gone. And right now the 3-point shot is falling, so it all looks a little bit better. And let the 3-point shot not fall next game, people will be right back to saying he needs a new trainer. I'm just saying, I trust. I would never ever say something like this. I would never advocate for someone so loudly for 3 years if I didn't truly believe this. And I'm just saying, like, I see the growth, man. I see the people who work with Brian, like whether they be NCAA kids, high school kids. And the one thing I can always say, positive environment, they all get better. Like they all keep getting better. Right. So
like, I agree. Like, the main thing I was thinking, if they can win game 2, my prediction is 100% they're going to go to game 7. I don't think they'll win, but Scottie Barnes, if he can, they keep giving him center and if VI could just play off the ball, my goodness, we can actually do something. It's just game 2. The next game is really crucial. They have to win that.
Of course, nobody is trying to go back down 3-1 against Cleveland.
Yeah,
but man, if you tie this up 2-2. This is a series now, right?
Yeah.
This is a series. And if you go back, guess what? If you win game 4, the entire pressure is on them. They have to win game 5. And you know who's notoriously choky in game 5s and game 6s and game 7s?
Someone with a beard.
Yeah.
The beard, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
and
just
Sky's got to guard him. He's got to guard him all the time, the beard. Like, that's the way to win the game. He has to guard him. Like, he did so awesome.
I think if James Harden is going to be as putrid as he was today, I wouldn't waste Scottie on him. The one player that I think scares me, like if he starts going, everything gets going, is Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah,
I understand the trade-off that putting Scottie on Mitchell, makes you smaller inside and really does limit some of your backside rotations because you have a guy that you cannot help off of. If you see what they've done with Jalen Suggs, right? Pulling Jalen Suggs, the adjustment that Jamal Mosley made in the Detroit series for Orlando is they put Jalen Suggs on Asar Thompson so that Jalen Suggs could rover, like so he could switch off of Asar and he could help down low because Jalen Suggs is an elite shot blocker. The way Orlando has used Jalen Suggs is exactly how you should use someone like a Scottie Barnes. They don't have a non-shooter. So unless you're going to put him on Jared Allen, you're not going to be able to put him on a non-wing like shooter. So basically the perfect matchup for a Scottie Barnes would be, someone like Amen Thompson, Asar Thompson, at least defensively, because you can cheat off that player. They're not going to kill you from the corners, right? Even like a Ben Simmons, someone like that, right? So the off-ball wing who can't shoot, which seems to be like a dying breed in the NBA, that's like the perfect way. If you could put Scottie on that guy, now Scottie can muck up everything. He can get involved in the rebounds. He can come over and help and stuff. But when your primary matchup is Donovan Mitchell, there's so much space you have to cover to get back to him. And then when you get back to him, like he can pull, he can do everything off the dribble. He can shoot from range. Like Donovan Mitchell extends you out about 28 to 30 feet comfortably. And so does Harden. So I think because those two guards force you to play so close to them, you're very limited as a help defender when
he was very passive today. He was so passive, Donovan Mitchell. If he's like that in game 4, I'm a Cavs fan, I'm shitting myself.
Yeah.
He cannot be like that again.
Hey man, Toronto strip clubs. Yeah. Toronto strip clubs.
Well, they're a dying breed, Rob. I would know. They're all closing down.
Are they?
No. Yeah, they're all done.
I've been in a committed relationship for 6 years. I don't know anything about strip clubs, unfortunately. But are they like all dying?
I'm glad you put that on record.
Yeah. Qualifier there.
I mean, I have no actually my girlfriend's cool as hell. She's actually told me before, she's like, if you went to a strip club, I don't even think I would care. But I don't like strip clubs personally. I find them kind of dingy and gross, and I always feel sick every time I've been to one. I went to a few when I was like 20, 21, 22. I did not feel good after I got out of a strip club. But But that being said, power to strip clubs. I did not know that they were going out of business in Toronto. But James Harden is here to keep them in business.
Yeah. Okay.
He will single-handedly boost the Canadian economy as it pertains to strip clubs and sex workers. So shout outs to James Harden doing God's work and, you know, partying it up until 4 a.m. Man, Toronto is one of those cities, bro. Like Saturday night in Toronto, Sunday afternoon game. Shout outs to James Harden. That's going to be one hell of a fucking hangover.
But like one thing, James Harden can't get that many rebounds. Like that's crazy. I don't know if you guys talked about that. Like what in the world is it? Raptors letting him get that many rebounds? That's crazy.
He's a pretty good rebounder. He's always been.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta go get my kids to school, so it's morning time.
Okay. Well, we're just reminding everybody that Frank is calling in from Spain. He is not a random person who is bringing his kids to school at 1 a.m. In Toronto, because it's 1 a.m. in Toronto, and people are going to be like, why is this guy bringing his kids to school at 1 a.m.?
Yeah.
What kind of abusive parenting is this? All right. Shout outs, Frank. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Peace. Take care. Thanks.
Just before I duck out too, I just want to ask you guys, do you have any specific predictions for what's going to happen on Sunday? And I don't just mean like win-loss. I mean like how they win or lose.
It's a good question, man. I will predict a close loss. Unfortunately, I hope, pray. If I'm the Raptors coaches right now, I am basically letting the atmosphere be grim in the locker room. I am letting the first person celebrate, and I'm slapping that person in the face. I am going full Kobe mode. Okay, Daryl, you are Sandro Mamukelashvili, and you are I'm sorry, I just gotta like go with the complexion, man. You the white guy, so you know with the like the European look. Okay, so we're just gonna say, okay, you're Sandro Mamukelashvili, and you're like yeah, and I'm looking at you cold, and I'm Darko Rajakovic, and I'm like, do it again, celebrate, show me you were celebrating, right? We're down 2-1. What are you celebrating about? Slap you in the fucking face. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking 0 points and 0 rebounds. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? I want to repeat. 22 points, not enough. I don't know. No. We are practicing right now. Okay, we're going to practice right now. I would be fired. Yo, I have said it on record so many times, bro. I would be fired on day one as an NBA coach. I am not designed to work with egos this big. But I am straight up saying, like, we got a fucking max player out here who is shitting the bed on national television. We got Scottie Barnes cramping up in the third quarter because he can't do everything. We got RJ Barrett having to have a historic 3-point shooting game. We got Jameson Battle dusting off the bench, bringing him in because nobody else can make threes. And we got away with 22 points in a game where they did not bring it. Don't get fucking ahead of yourself here. You are not 22 points better than this team. You are barely 5 points worse than this team. And you needed them to have a game like this to let you back in the series. Now, go into game 4 preparing to lose by 30. And now try to find a way where you can win by 5.
It's the Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is going to have to show up for game 4 because they're on alert now. Game 4 is big. They're going to start defending CMB. They're not going to treat him like a non-scorer anymore. They're going to tell Jared Allen and whoever's on him, yo, you got to defend this guy now. They're going to respect him.
What can they do? What can
they do?
What
I'm saying is they're giving him airspace, so he eats up that airspace. I remember it's like people would be like, oh, give Giannis space. But it's like Giannis is just going to take a little bit of head of steam, eat up that space, and then score. But all I'm saying is this. RJ did his thing. Barnes did his thing. Battle did his thing. CMB did his thing. To me, it looks like it's going to be opening up for Brandon Ingram. They're going to have to loosen the screws somewhere to tighten the screws somewhere else because they don't have enough defenders to tighten every screw. So this is going to have to be Brandon Ingram's game. But having said that, you run everything through Scottie. I think if Scottie has a mismatch, send him the ball. If I'm a point guard, if I'm Jamal Shed, I get up the court. First thing I see is who's guarding Scottie. If it ain't Dean Wade or Mobley, I'm getting that guy the ball immediately. Scrap whatever we had planned, and we're gonna play.
Coach Mo, if you're Darko, how long a leash do you give BI in the next game?
It's not about a leash. I'm not really trying to feature him. I'm done trying to get him open. And here's the thing that upsets me about BI. I've seen plenty of times they're trying to get LeBron on a mismatch. It's taking too long. He literally just says, go the other way. You're eating up too much clock. Just go that way. Whereas Brandon Ingram is very content with taking up 20 seconds. And when you and this goes back to like Immanauel Quickley and the other players. At some point, do you not just say, okay, this isn't working? Let's go the other way? I think that has to stop. I don't think we have to. I think everything has to run through Scottie. If Scottie's on the floor, feed him. Brandon Ingram is skilled enough and he's good enough where he will score. He doesn't have to force it. Not Jamal Shed, where it would be a miracle if he scores 10 points.
Do we want to see this little Pen was right clip from PC? Shout outs to Player's Choice. I will be on the panel tomorrow running my fucking victory laps like I stole something. Here we go.
Issue with Scottie Barnes, I'm not gonna lie, Pin. You are the problem with Scottie Barnes because you talk about him like he's the third coming.
Would Scottie Barnes be the best
PC tomorrow?
Yeah.
Would he be the best player on the Celtics?
Yes.
He's gonna be so obnoxious.
Yes.
He'd be the best player on the Hawks, right?
Yep. Scottie is closer to Jokic as a passer than Jalen Johnson is to Scottie Barnes.
16-year-old bitch.
Okay, I can't play the rest of this. Go check it out yourself because I'm gonna get fucking demonetized on this. But that being said, shout outs and thank you to whoever put this video together for Player's Choice. It is it's nice. I'm sure that the haters are gonna have their takes ready for tomorrow, saying like it was just one game, and also
people.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, yeah. And shout outs to my guy Swiper, man. I hope the Nuggets come back. I really don't want you to go. I don't want Jokic to go out like this, man. But yes, unfortunately, when you defend a player or you defend a team as hard as I do on PC, I've been asking for Raptors respect going back to last season, right? I've been asking for Scottie respect going back to like 3 years ago on PC. I think one of my first clips on PC was that Scottie Barnes is better than Cade Cunningham, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, when you defend a player this hard and that player goes out like this, there is like a sense of like, vindication. You know what I mean? There definitely is that. And I'm sure that everyone on this stage has at some point or another encountered a Raptors fan in your life. You might even be related to this sad sack of shit who said, Scottie Barnes ain't it. Scottie Barnes is not it. If he's your best player, what's he going to be? What are you going to be? And at least for one day, bro.
Pascal Siakam like he was Kawhi Leonard. Same people.
Yeah. This person, the male stoic, always great to see somebody.
Today's the day to say this, huh? You have to write this today.
Scottie can do no wrong in Pensare eyes. Pensare's eyes. There's apostrophe S. If you want my real name, it's Rob. But I will say this. Have I been critical of Scottie Barnes this year?
Game one.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I have been so
You've been more critical of Scottie Barnes than most people have talked about Scottie Barnes.
Yeah. Yeah, I really have. I called him out after game one. I made an entire video, okay, saying you cannot be this sorry. You cannot be this ass, blah, 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 blah. Like, you have to be a playoff riser. Like, I believe I have held him accountable. And I have to say, like, early on in my Raptors coverage, I didn't. I blamed everyone for everything that was going wrong with him. And then I remember that I had my first interview with Brian. I remember that one. And right towards the end, he said, I think Scottie would want you to be fair. And from that day to this day, I have done exactly that. I have been as fair as humanly possible. And I've realized that most of my favorite players would never want me to lie about how they're doing. They would never want me to come up here and pretend that their bad games aren't happening. When Scottie's had a bad game, I've said he's had a bad game. The entire last month of the season, I continuously complained about his defense. And, you know, when he didn't finish top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting, I did not run, you know, and say, like, what a conspiracy, what a horrible thing. Did I say I would want him top 3? Yeah, of course I would want him top 3. He's one of my favorite players. Of course I want him top 3. But at the same time, I said I understand it. His defense fell off in the last month. And I have never experienced the wrath of Scottie Barnes fans coming at my neck, saying, like, how could you turn your back on Scottie in this moment? You can't possibly be serious. You're contradicting yourself. I thought you were a real Scottie Barnes fan. Look, man, I think Scottie's great. He's great. If he is on the board, he's probably my second or third pick to build a franchise around because of all the intangible stuff with him. I think if you ask the average NBA coverage person, he's probably not a top 20 pick. So I'm higher than most, but that doesn't mean that I'm blind to his weaknesses. And it also doesn't mean that I think he's a finished product. He is not even close to a finished product. Everything he's doing right now can get better. His defense can get better. His physicality can get better. His footwork can get better. His handle can get better. His shot can get better. Everything can get better. He's 24 years old. And at age 24, he has shown you in the first 3 games of this series with his offensive star not showing up very big in these moments that he can put you on his back and he can score 26, 27 points per game while being guarded by a great defender. So it's just like, to all the people that said he's a project, you're right. You're right. He is a project. He definitely is a project. But bro, you love to have a project this good. CMB is a project too. They're both projects. Both these guys can get so much better. If you tell me one day that both these guys retire as like 12-time All-Stars, I'm not even that surprised.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it could be great. Yeah. We
All
lost.
right, guys, I gotta head out, but really good to see all of you guys and keep up the conversation. I'll come check in what you said after, but I actually have work to do, sadly.
All right. Any final thoughts? Twitter dude, Lane, anybody?
Yeah, man. I mean, hopefully the reverse jinx works. Right? It's kind of what I'm banking on here. Reverse jinx for Sunday. I don't think the Cavs are as big of a giant as everyone says they are, or kind of what I've taken away from, this conversation here. Like, I respect the hell out of Donovan Mitchell, right? But I also understand Donovan Mitchell has done about as much in his career playoff-wise as Brandon Ingram and Scottie Barnes have. Let's be completely frank, right? Has he even been to a conference finals? I don't think so. Right? Like, you know what I mean? So it's not like this dude's some playoff demon that every time you run into him, he's going to mow you down or, you're on death watch. Same thing with James Harden. Not scared of that either. Right? I think the least sustainable part of the Cavs today was the bigs being at bay. I think you're going to see a much better Mobley and Allen in game 4.
Yep.
But it also depends on, hey, maybe Jakob gives you 15, 16 points in game 4. You don't, who knows, right? Maybe we'll neutralize it out a little bit. I just don't think that this series is as much as a gap as maybe game 1 or game 2 showed.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to take a look at what happened in the Raptors locker room right after the win here. Yeah.
Talking about, fellas.
Good win. Good win. We did not do okay. We just won one game.
Yeah, Darko keeping my energy. I love it. That's exactly what he needs to say, and he's saying it. We did not do shit. Thank you.
Next game starts from 0-0. We're going to do it again. It's going to be mellow for 48 minutes. And then we do what we always do. We're going to watch film. We're going to come back. We're going to analyze it. We're going to continue to getting better. This was a good game. It was not a perfect game. Everybody, we can play better than we did today. And that has to be our mentality going into the next game. Okay, all we got next game. I think we're all going to agree that this one tonight goes
Bro, that is a vibe. That is a vibe.
Go Bucks, baby.
Dude, from DMPCD to Chain, baby. Dude, that's awesome. I'm so happy he played, man. The second he checked in, my entire anxiety about this game went like down, like 100%. I was just like, I know this is the adjustment we need to make. I don't know if we're going to do it. So happy we did it. And shout outs to Jameson Battle, bro. This is a guy who is fighting for his NBA career at this point. being out of the rotation for most of the season. I mean, he's been in and out, you know what I mean? But he's produced in so many segments. He's produced, and he gets better.
I think he's deserving of opportunity.
He is.
When they went tight rotation, kind of the last month of the season, chasing the guaranteed playoff berth, and he was kind of kicked out of it. I didn't think that was necessarily fair to him, to be honest with you. I think he deserved chances, and I mean, he proved it tonight. How much easier could some of these games have been if Battle would have played? You know, maybe not all of them. He's not perfect. There's some games where, hey, he misses first 3 shots, you get him the hell out because it's just not his night, right? But if he hits 1, he's gonna hit 2. And if he hits 2, he's gonna hit 3, right? He's just one of those guys where it's very, very contagious.
Agreed.
Very, very contagious. And it's not like he's a complete negative on defense. No, he's not a positive defender by any means. He can be
I truly think he's awful, but yeah.
he could be neutral at best, depending on what his matchup is. But he also cuts. He's also a decent rebounder. He makes smart passes. He doesn't make the passes where it's like, oh shit, I didn't see that. Like, he makes obvious passes, but they're smart passes. And he's always, even when he was at Ohio State, like, he's very cognitively aware. Like, he's not the guy where it's like, oh shit, okay, I missed 2 straight shots. Let me take a step back 3 real quick. Right? Like, he's not going to force the issue for the sake of forcing the issue. Now, if he's wide open and he misses it, he'll miss it. But he's a very cognitively aware player. And I think it's something that on a team full of some guys that kind of hunt their own at times, I think it's really refreshing to see a guy like that who understands, like, hey, like, this isn't my show. I'm just here to be the supporting cast.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's vital for sure. Another guy who's vital is Scottie Barnes, and here he is talking about RJ Barrett, who is also vital.
RJ is playing that way in this series, especially tonight in his hometown. I mean, what did you think about the way he was kind of just bringing his overall energy to the game besides points and the rest of the stuff he was doing?
He's doing so much for our team, attacking, going downhill, making threes. You see him, he's guarding Mobley, switching on to Harden, going to Donovan Mitchell. He's doing so many things for our team that's just, it's unbelievable. He stepped out of his comfort zone as well. He's destroying that narrative that people think about him, and he's helping our team out so much. He's unbelievable, doing a great job, scoring, playing defense, talking, being a leader out there on the floor. RJ's doing amazing.
Shout outs, man. Always appreciate the positivity. I don't think I've ever seen Scottie Barnes say one negative thing about one of his teammates.
No.
It has never happened. And I don't think it's ever going to happen. And I think that it is such an important thing right now to have composure, right? Togetherness and composure is going to get you through an 0-2 deficit. It's going to get you through a tough first quarter deficit in the next game if that happens. It might even get you through, you know, a tough game 6 or game 5 if you end up going down 3-1. I just think that composure and again, the playoffs just test your physical and mental limits so much more than they test your skill set, and they test your ability to go to counters, right? And I think right now Ingram needs to adapt in a significant way and realize that there's more help on his team than he's been willing to admit all year, right? There are players that he can trust. And I think so much of the push-pull tug-of-war this year with Brandon Ingram on the Toronto Raptors has been how much does he trust his teammates and who does he trust? He seems to trust RJ a lot. He seems to trust Jacoby. He seems to trust Immanauel Quickley. Beyond that, he seems very, very anxious to pass to anybody else, including sometimes Scottie. So again, I think Ingram needs to just trust the offense a little bit more. And if that offense is going to find, you know, see AJ Lawson in the corner, if it's going to find Jamal Shed above the break, if it's going to find CMB roll into the basket, he's just going to have to make that play and trust his teammates. And I think that's going to be how the Raptors win this series. The Raptors are going to win the series through pace. They're not going to win this by Ingram exchanging half-court buckets or Scottie or RJ, any one of these guys going star for star half-court offense with their stars, because when their stars pull up, everything is going to change. So expect a much better game from Donovan Mitchell. I loved what Darko said about we ain't done shit. We haven't done shit. Same approach tomorrow. Come in. We're still down 1-2. We haven't done anything. that's the right approach. That's the right message. And you felt it. Like there was a somber, collected group there. They celebrated for Jameson Battle. Yeah, for sure. But they did not look like a team that was done. Like, oh, we got one. That's what we came here for. I don't feel like this team just got one. I feel like they just found a blueprint on how to get two. So hopefully they get it. Yeah. My expectation is I think they lose game 4, win game 5, and then lose game 6. I'm thinking that's probably how it goes. But my hope as a Raptor fan is they win game 4, win game 5, win game 6, and shut everyone up. That would be amazing. And that would be following in the path of the 2019 Toronto Raptors going down 0-2 against the Bucks and then coming back 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, Lane, any final thoughts, man?
Yeah. Win game 4.
Win game 4.
Win game 4.
Yeah. Like I just imagine like Darko before the game. Don't lose. Enough said. Don't lose. Go win. Yeah. Peace, man. Thanks a lot for
Yes,
calling
sir.
in.
Have a great night.
Appreciate you. I want to acknowledge the super chats. Great conversation happening on this channel. Shout outs to the hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of you who have dropped in and out. Shout outs to the people who have been here for 2-3 hours as we discussed this, 2.5 hours as we discussed. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful team victory. And what I really love about the Toronto Raptors right now is you really can't point to one guy. This was not a carry job by Scottie or a carry job by RJ or a carry job by Jameson Battle or a carry job by CMB. This was a very impressive showing for all 4 players. And all 4 players, by the way, are 25 and under, which is pretty cool. You know, you didn't have some veteran, guard like a CJ McCollum bailing you out in a tough situation and he's past his prime. No, these are guys who are young, who are not expected to do a ton in these moments. And I mean, granted, they are expected to do a lot. Scottie and RJ are certified, those types of guys. But I think Jameson and CMB, this is a surprise for a lot of people. And I'm very, very proud of them. That's very awesome. Who's Scottie guard? How do they play Scottie who's Scottie guard? How did they play Scottie is super duper star. I think what Fiendstar is trying to say here is basically like Scottie brought it 2-way. And that type of impact is superstardom. And I fully agree. I just don't think that you can think of 2 players you can't think of another player other than Scottie or Victor Wembanyama who can be a top 5 defender on one end and then give you 29 points in 3 quarters on the other end. It's just really hard to do that. It's taxing, it's exhausting. And right now you feel for Scottie. You hope that he has the rest, recovery, cryo chamber, all that shit to get himself right for game 4. And look, man, I'm gonna tell you this: every game, could be an elimination game or a borderline elimination game. The closer you get to the end of the series, and I just trust Scottie in those moments. I really do. I think this guy has gears and gears and gears, and I think today you saw a gear. I think everything I've been talking about all year is like the skill set is so much better. Just wait until you get to the playoffs. He's going to give you one of these games. And today, 31 points, 33 points, on really efficient splits. RJ Barrett, also insanely efficient. These 2 guys are going crazy in terms of their volume and efficiency. Both guys are averaging over 25 points per game in the series. Both guys are shooting above 60% true shooting and truly are carrying the load right now for Brandon Ingram. And so the question that should excite Raptor fans is, what if Ingram's day to arrive in this series is Sunday? Now, how do the Cavs stop this from happening? Suddenly you have a rim roller going downhill, you have shooters, and now it's like, okay, with how vulnerable, right, Detroit has looked and how, maybe how confident you feel against Orlando, do the Raptors now start thinking like, okay, we have a path to get all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, we can do this one game at a time. Obviously, you're not going to win 2 series, 3 series all at once, but can we get to that point as a team where we can start thinking a little bit beyond just being competitive in a round 1 series against a championship contender in the Cleveland Cavaliers? And again, like right now, the Raptors have as many wins as 2 championship contenders, Denver and New York. 2. Okay. That's pretty impressive. San Antonio will be without Victor Wembanyama most likely. They are down. They are tied in that series 1-1. I think a lot of interesting series going on right now. Very interested to talk about them this weekend. I think we'll do like more of a general breakdown of the NBA and what's been sticking out in some of these series, either tomorrow or on Saturday. I will be on Player's Choice tomorrow as well. Shout outs to Papa Mochi or Moki with a 279 super sticker. Shout outs to you very much. Thank you for this. Dancing Baby Bins said, Jameson Battle is a willing defender, not a bad one. I disagree. I think he is a bad defender. I think he's very limited, but he is willing. So I will give you that. Definitely. Game 2, third quarter was the switch flipping on for Scottie. And today was him realizing in real time saying, I'm stronger. They can't guard me. 4 is a superstar. Shout out to ESPNNeedsIKD. Often, you'll see him co-hosting those Twitter spaces with Zazu, VIP member over here, makes his own content. Shout out to ESPNNeedsIKD. Maybe ESPN really does need IKD. Red Salute saying Scottie showed tonight he's our real number one option. Sure, absolutely. I think Scottie is the driver of the most efficient offense on this team, in my opinion. As long as shooters and cutters are willing to go with him, he will get everybody open. He will feed shooters. He will feed cutters at the rim. He'll make things easier and more efficient. And if he can be 10% more efficient as a jump shooter going into next season, you're really going to be in a lot of trouble. The league is going to be in a lot of trouble, and the Raptors will absolutely have a top 10 player because that's the gap right now, because it's certainly not defense, right? So he just needs to be a little bit more patient with his dribble, with his manipulation, with the court organization. And I think going forward, the Raptors absolutely have to look at him like a backcourt player, because my man just started at point guard and put up 33 fucking points in the playoffs. Okay. So, something. Nolan, who was up here, shout outs to Nolan for, being a good sport about the mouse breather jokes, said, go follow Keeping the Tempo with Nolan Bambury. Yes, Nolan has started his own podcast, which will be focused on the Toronto Tempo. Did a lot of work in terms of scouting the Toronto Tempo, was shooting me messages right through draft night saying like, oh, the Tempo got a really good one with Kiki Rice and stuff. So shout outs to Nolan. I love when someone from our community goes out and makes a podcast. That's also very, very cool. And I love when that happens. It's honestly amazing. And yeah. Okay. And do you think Phoenix will get swept? Yes. Scottie looked like Kawhi. He did. He absolutely did. Okay. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you to everybody who called in, made this a very, very lively discussion. Big shout outs to Coach Mo, Nolan. Big shout outs to big shout outs to everybody who called in, man. And it was good to hear from Recruiter Dude. Good to hear from Professor Pixel, aka Daryl. Always good to hear from Coach Mo. And it was really great to hear from Lane as well. I know some people were really hoping that Lane would call in because he was so high on Jameson Battle pre-draft and was telling us all about like how much we were going to love Jameson Battle. Man, I love Jameson Battle. I would give that guy a max contract tomorrow, man. All right. Shout outs, and big shout out to Scottie Barnes and RJ Barrett, really putting the team on their back, carrying the scoring load, and then CMB just showing out. I think this is CMB and VJ Edgecombe have not looked like rookies on the big stage, and that's really saying something, right? VJ being a top 3 pick, maybe some people could have expected that. A bucket getter, a scorer, playing off a lot of gravity, but Colin Murray-Boyles is scoring over what is largely considered one of the most efficient paint defenses in the league. And if he can do this to them, if he can be a wrecking ball against them, a lot of talk early in the season was about how he's struggling against length to finish and how he needs to find different angles and the lack of verticality and this and that and this and that. And I must admit, I participated in some of those talks. I was concerned about how often he wasn't even looking to score inside, how often he was dropping off like short layups, and his touch around the rim didn't look great. And clearly a switch has been turned where he can really, really score in the paint against just about anybody. He's finding beautiful angles. They can't stop him. And if they're just going to keep, playing him this way, and he is just giving like 4, 5, 6 feet of space to drive into some of those matchups, he's moving his defender out of the way. He's going into the body of the shot blocker. And absolutely, man. Why is everyone saying something about Brian? Did Brian drop a comment? Where we go? Oh, let's go. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Everybody. Feeling really, really good about this Scottie game, right? Thanks for the long late night post game stream, Pen. Currently working all night long. Shout outs to you, man. Working all night. That's tough. All right. Enjoy this Raptors win. Go out. Be responsible. Don't drink too much. And we got to go get them on Sunday, man. And as Darko said, ain't done shit yet. Peace, y'all.